Captain, no good way to say this without sounding like bragging. Got a comm call from Ord Mantell, Governor's office. They've been keeping tabs on what we're doing, and... Captain, they're calling me a Republic hero. Ord Mantell's most storied native son.
You are a hero, Corso. I'm glad someone's acknowledging it.
It's not like they're building a statue or anything. Actually, they're asking for our help. Turns out the Separatists were backed by the Empire. They wanted to destabilize the government. When they were defeated, the Empire attacked outright. Ord drove them off, but they left behind some kind of EMP pulsar.
What's that do?
It's causing every droid on the planet to malfunction. Apparently, the thing is in orbit somewhere. They haven't been able to get a lock on the signal. But it's affected every droid, comlink, and terminal on the planet. Complete economic shutdown.
How do we help?
Thank you, Captain. It'd be nice to give something back to the world that raised me. They're asking us to go to Balmora. The Empire's got disarm codes stored there, but Ord has no troops with the gear or training to go after them.
They should be like us. Learn as they go.
I don't think most people could survive your kind of school. The codes were stored in a cave with a bunch of other Imperial weapons. Should be a quick snatch and grab, as far as should takes us.
I know I'm muted. I was just... Really, dude? Alright, fine. We'll go to Balmora really quick. Super quick. Let's go deal with this. I mean, while we're here, hang on. Let me get some very appropriate Balmora music going. Let's go with... How much is left? Lots, Umbral Magnus. Lots and lots and lots. Years, decades, nay, centuries. They will be singing songs of the great smuggler group. To your grandkids, grandkids, grandkids. It's a good question, Mr. Ed, but yes, I do think you can. Let's see, where's Gigaputty? There you are. Where are you sending the game? Looks like... Of course, I can't quick travel here because screw me. Oh, there we go. Here, maybe? Oh, we'll try here. There, I linked you something, Giga. Just in case you haven't seen it yet. Hi, Lunarif. And good morning, Giga, Mr. Red, Umbral, Ect, Zaktaft, Latario, Arcano, Megaskullmon, Spockmon, and Caspian, and hopefully I don't get dismounted because I was looking away. Yeah, listen, you're not allowed to quick travel while in a spaceport because... You know, I don't actually know if they ever had a reason for that. Hi, J. Palmer. Hello, Babber. Good morning, Narset. Like, seriously, I've never heard an excuse even for that. Never mind an actual reason. Yes. So I don't actually hate this song. I hate the version that has lyrics, and I do. I absolutely despise the version that has lyrics. Furthermore, the biggest thing that I hated about this song wasn't really the song itself, but the fact that it played for approximately 80% of the content of a 150-hour game. Believe it or not, that's the pared down list, Giga. Good morning, Blade Fall. Why would I kill you for that, Giga? Remember, the whole point is to pick something you'd be very excited in playing, not just anything. And if the answer is none of the above, that's also acceptable. Just don't vote for anything. I must have Corso rigs to do this.
Okay.
Why?
That ought to fix it.
That's a new bug. I was on a staircase, so I couldn't crouch because you can't crouch while you're in the air. That's... Up.
Magar! Magar! Answer me! We've been waiting for your all clear. Are you there? Blasted Imperials?
Who's that? Why would she be calling an Imperial soldier?
If they killed you, Magar, I've already sworn to hunt down every puss-ridden Emperor lover on this planet.
Hello?
You're not my husband. Why are you answering his comm?
You first. Why are you calling this man?
Oh, blast it! One of us will have to trust first. You don't sound Imperial. I'm Damazine, proud Balmoran and member of the Resistance against the Empire. My husband Magar stole an Imperial uniform. He and some friends were trying to get weapons to help us retake our town.
Stole a uniform. They weren't really Imperials?
Free Balmorans, everyone. Did anyone survive?
Nope, we killed all of them. Although in our defense, they literally attacked us first.
They died in the line of duty.
I'm really sorry, ma'am. I wish there were better words for it. Is there any way we can make it up to you?
You were gonna think I'm a cold-hearted old battle axe, but I've lost my sons, my parents. Death's no stranger here. What we really need are those guns. Magar risked his life to get them. I hate to think he died for nothing.
Can Ord Mantell wait on these codes long enough for a side trip?
Captain, these men died because of our mistake.
Bring me the guns, and I'll pay fair price for the lot of them. We're in hiding behind Imperial lines. Magar's comms got the coordinates.
Okay. No, Narset, don't worry about it. It's for actors only. Okay, where's this taking to? Looks like over here. I mean, Imperial uniforms are actually pretty cool looking in this game, in my opinion. IMO. I don't know, Chaotic Danny. Tell you what, I'll do that if you go vote on the poll. If you don't do that, I just can't be held responsible for what's going to happen. Your little sub there might get a little lost if you catch my drift. Oh, well. I was going to go to do gangster. Okay, fine, whatever. Oh, God. Hang on. There we go. Okay, we're good. We made it. Thank you, Chaotic. The hell? I will put that towards Wrath of the Righteous. I mean, that doesn't surprise me, Mega Skull Monspot, though. Don't do it, Giga Pudding. It's not worth it. Save yourself.
So, you're the ones who killed my Magar.
Yeah.
You look younger in person. It can't have been easy to get these guns here. Thank you. Now, what do I owe you?
Danla, darling, I just heard the terrible news. It's a tough time for a woman to be alone out here. But don't worry. I won't let anyone take advantage of that.
This guy a friend of yours?
I'm Witat. This is my town, and those are my guns you're returning from my men you killed.
Our debt is to the lady.
Aren't you too sweet? But this is my army, not Dan Lazin's. Whatever she's offering for those munitions, I'll double it.
I'm guessing you've got a strong opinion about this.
There's no amount of money that would make me give this brute a blaster. Ma'am, you still interested in buying these weapons?
Thank you, son. You're a good boy. I hope your mama appreciates that. Now, you move on out. We don't need you anymore.
What? This is my town.
You're no better than the Imperials. Go see if they'll have you. We'll take back Balmora on our own.
Okay, that was honestly strange and disjointed, but I'm not sure what else I was expecting from a Corso quest. Corso, get out of my party.
Captain.
Alright. Anything else? Nope. Okay, so. I mean, Giga Pudding's famous on YouTube now. Need to do more of those handstands, I think. Before we joined the Republic, rookies did not fall to the Trandoshans. The Republic asks us to be civilized. They make us ashamed of our strength.
I've never met a Wookiee who was ashamed of being strong.
Or being angry. We used to channel our rage, now we repress it. What are you, Sith? Even on Kashyyyk, we talk about Trandoshans instead of fighting them. That's why they find us such easy prey. We should just murder them! Mass murder for profit. Oh, that was... okay. That's it? Just...
Have I said thank you yet? If not, just remind me, and I will, twice a day, like atmospheric suppositories. I mean, most guys, they'd have killed me without a second thought. I, probably shouldn't keep reminding you not to trust me.
I'm counting on you to be so helpful that I forget all about it.
Ha! That's a good one. For a second there, I thought you were serious. By the way, can you tell that Corso guy to maybe see a doctor about his snoring? How does anyone sleep on this ship? Just, tell me if you need anything, Captain. I'll be on the comlink, trying to order some decent food.
Hold up. Corso is snoring on my ship? That's it. He's going out the airlock.
So, what was it like, Noctrayan? I'd been asking Risha, but she gets all weird and prickly about it. She actually slapped me when I said it'd be a better story if you turned out to be his long-lost son. Even Rogan was impressed when he heard you dug up the old man's treasures.
What did Rogan say about me?
Well, it started with the blasters, but mostly he got mad after you dodged his assassins. It was a pride thing. Then when you hooked up with the lady senator, ooh, he hated her. He was after you just to get you out of her hands. But none of this is news. I want to hear about you. Did you always know this was what you wanted to do? I like to imagine your parents programmed janitorial droids, and this was your way out of the family business.
I sort of fell into this lifestyle. Not that I'm complaining. The money's good.
Sounds like my life, except for the good money part. Guess it's too late to discuss salary, huh?
I don't mind paying you, Gus. I am, after all, extremely rich, which the game keeps forgetting, but I haven't.
I guess you've been wondering how someone like me ever ended up with the Jedi, huh?
It's the duty of the Jedi.
Nah.
I guess you've been wondering how someone like...
You don't really seem like the Jedi type.
They thought that too. I was always kind of the odd one out in my family. And believe me, it was not a small family. When they kicked me out, I went to Nar Shaddaa and met a Jedi who said all the weird stuff that happens to me is a connection to the Force.
Don't sell yourself short. You do plenty of weird stuff all on your own.
And you know, that was an issue. The Jedi are all about recruiting kids too young to know better, so there it was. Me and all these serene little kids. You've never known real rage until you've been lectured on controlling your emotions by a 4-year-old in a robe.
You said you were kicked out.
I maybe overstated that. They don't really throw people out, you know. Call of the dark side and all that. But it was clear I'd never make the cut. Anything I could do with the Force was basically random. Never even figured out how to work my dead master's lightsaber.
I like Gus. But not as much as I like Spar, who is over here somewhere. There she is.
I did not expect our travels to linger so long, Captain. I kept thinking I would leave at the next port, but I appreciate the trust you have shown me. And more often than not, I admire your decisions. You can be far more ruthless than your reputation suggests.
You certainly opened my eyes to some new ways of looking at things.
When you look at me like that, are you interested in me as a woman? Is this your way of pursuing a relationship?
Vito, back out. It just, I'll be right back. I'll be right back with you on that one. Just gotta get as far away as possible here. Okay, we should be safe here. Whew. All right.
I notice we're spending a lot of time together. I'm not complaining, but you know this can't go anywhere, right? Sooner or later I have to leave your ship. I don't want any hard feelings when I do. Does that make sense?
I'd rather regret you for the rest of my life than get scared off by your crazy talk.
There's just no reasoning with you. Have it your way. If you want to make something of whatever it is we have, fine. But don't say I didn't warn you.
Both of those go under secondary request, Mr. Red.
Never thought I'd say this, but you're my favorite partner in crime. You make beating the odds look easy, Captain.
What can I say? I'm inspired by a beautiful woman.
Just so we're clear, I had a snappy comeback for that line, but I'm not using it out of respect. I've definitely learned a few dirty tricks from watching you work. Think I might have found a few of my own. We'll find out at our next death-defying showdown. I can't wait.
Oh, you don't like Spar, Krenzler? Okay, now we'll go talk to Spar, and hopefully we're locked out of a relationship with her.
I did not expect our trip and...
You certainly opened my eyes to some new ways of looking at things.
When you look at me like that, are you interested in me as a woman?
Damn it!
Is this your way of pursuing a
Damn it! No! Game! No! Okay, that's... Relationship flags! Come on, BioWare, I know you know how to do this. Alright. No.
Can't a guy flirt without you thinking he's into chicks with horns?
I will remember not to insult you that way.
We lost rep for that.
Are there things you regret, Captain? It is not an emotion I was raised to feel. We act, and we face the consequences with courage. But it is far easier to discipline my body than my mind.
Why waste time worrying about the last galaxy?
Hang on. None of these dialogue options are right. And I'm trying really hard not to flirt with her.
Other things you... It is not, but it is...
It's not a weakness to admit you've done the wrong...
Wow! Okay.
Either it is, but it...
How about you work on your mind and leave the body to me?
I should have been with my clan when the Empire came for them. I'd left to join another clan, to follow a lover. At the moment, they were betrayed. I knew nothing.
I don't imagine anyone can just walk up and arrest a bunch of Mandalorians.
The Empire could not have succeeded without treachery. I only know they used some kind of time-released poison, then arrested them as they lay unconscious. When I called for my lover's clan to defend them, the cowards refused. They were not true Mandalorians.
I thought that story would end with so I tore them limb from limb and used their corpses as jet fuel.
Their cowardice did not kill my clan. Let them live with their guilt. It is the Empire that must pay.
Interesting way of thinking of it.
I have a name.
Kavi?
Not me. I know whose order Moff Tyrek signed. To execute my clan, it was sent by Imperial Major Stan Wu. I've heard of him. He is a liaison between the Empire and hired bounty hunters. I will kill him.
You can't just walk up to an Imperial Major and blast him. Do you have an actual plan?
I'll exploit the Major's position and turn it against him. The Major is hiring the best bounty hunters on Nar Shaddaa. I will go there and present myself as one of them. Once I secure a meeting with Major Stan Wu, all that's left is to pull the trigger.
Take your time and enjoy.
No. Why does she not like that? Not what I was going for anyways.
No, I never... I'll admit once...
There's another step after that. Get the blazes off Nar Shaddaa before the Empire catches you.
This is not my first execution. I always leave myself an exit. If we do not see each other again, retursi me.
I'll never see you again.
You made it back
And
alive.
she's back.
I assume the Imperial wasn't so lucky.
That sniveling worm was no more the architect of my clan's destruction than Moff Tyrek was. I left him alive, wallowing in his disgrace. Major Stan Wu ordered the execution because of lies told to him by another Mandalorian, Tayari Rook. The true crime rests with him.
That must have been one whopper of a lie to get your whole clan wiped out.
Rook presented Major Stan Wu with evidence that Clan Spar reneged on a contract. My people were hired to destroy transport ships full of young Jedi, but the Empire's target survived. If Clan Spar had accepted that contract, the Jedi would be dead. Rook framed us.
What did he stand to gain from your clan's destruction?
His motives don't matter. They can't save him. I've already begun my hunt for Tayari Rook. I will settle his debt to Clan Spar.
Okay, fine.
Why am I here, Captain? I've been clear about my reason for joining you, but I never understood what you want from me. Am I a hired gun? Or is this something more?
Is this the second time you're asking me to have sex with you?
I may have started that way, but now you're a part of my crew. Your family.
We've a proverb. Ali Arishia Taldin. Family is more than bloodline, but it refers to adoption by a clan, not... Why did you assemble this crew? It is too momentous a decision to make on impulse. Do your loyalties truly lie with the Republic?
Kinda, yeah.
When the Empire's cantina starts serving deuterium Pyrus, maybe I'll reconsider.
The Republic worships its own weakness. They waste their warriors defending those who cannot care for themselves. They call for loyalty to a government of strangers instead of a family and clan. You could do better.
That's right. I could take over. I could rule the Republic on high. As, Chancellor? I don't know. That doesn't feel right. Whatever. That's everyone, right? That's everyone. Okay, well, we did it. But now we have to go to The best planet in the game.
Captain, I hope you took precautions not to be followed. I must remind you the very existence of our prison on Belsavis is top secret. Before you go further, you must swear to reveal nothing.
But you don't like it when I swear.
I'm serious. Our security is already compromised by the Empire. We can't risk word getting to the underworld. A few days ago, our prison here was breached. An Imperial airstrike, apparently coordinated with a massive prison break within. The planet is in chaos. Shock troops are arriving daily to contain it.
How did the Imperials find it?
We don't know. Help the Republic if you can, but getting Rogan's location from Ivory must remain your first priority. I can only authorize you to offer him certain deals. We cannot mitigate Ivory's sentence. If he cooperates, he can have 3 hours a day in the exercise yards. No company, no sharp objects. A bath once a week, private except for guard droids. If his information leads to Rogan the Butcher's arrest, he gets a single monitored holocall of his choosing.
Those are terrible terms. Also, he doesn't have a bath once a week right now?
You know, a man gets lonely all locked up, all alone.
You feeling his pain, Captain? What's the matter? That little harem you travel with doesn't keep your ship warm? Don't joke with Ivory. He's smart. His followers were so loyal, the Senate passed new legislation allowing them to be convicted as a single individual. Rogan the Butcher was Ivory's protege. If Ivory doesn't give him up, you have permission to be coercive. I've made arrangements with Marshal Cavarat at the Republic base. She'll be able to help you with anything you need.
Anyways, I actually forgot to mention something in my working on other stuff this morning. I got a lot of theater work done this morning. I'm on the final mastering pass. Do we want to do the Revan dungeons? We've got 4 right now. We will probably need a healer, and we will probably need a tank. I can heal? Okay, Giga can heal. Probably better than I can. I cannot tank. Well, actually, maybe I could tank. The unlock problem goes under railroading, Mr. Red. I was hoping to get the LTTP Theater done for this Saturday, but I don't want to rush the mastering pass. So I'm probably going to release it next Saturday. Okay, looks like I'm tanking. Okay, I can do that. I can do that. Let's go down to here. Tank. And then let's switch our combat style to nothing. Who needs a tank? I laugh in the face of tanks. Why did it unequip my weapons? Let me look at my hair. Let's get some pre-mission music going here while I figure out my loadout really quick. I've been getting better about my rotation, so I should be doing decent deeps. Yeah, I've been nervous every theater we've ever released. I'm probably more nervous about the LTTP one than anyone we've done, though. Okay. That... No, that's just... Damn it. Alright, and I already have... Yes, Walker. The overwhelming percentage of the dialogue in the LTTP Theater is original. By me. So, a little nervous. Yeah, screw it. I think actually my build's good for this. As good as it's getting. Okay, so I need to go to the fleet. I'll just hit this button. I prefer playing as Zero. Character-wise, I'd probably still prefer Zero. Do Jedi mind tricks wear off over time? That's a good question. I don't actually know. Hold on. So, should be the East District, if I'm remembering correctly. Dr. Winter also asked a good question yesterday, which I didn't get around to asking. This is about the Star Wars rewrite. So we talked about how the Force is super available, right? Now, not everyone's going to do it, obviously, but there's still plenty of people who have access to it. So, Dr. Winter then asks, considering how disputed the availability of the Force would be, would there be people that know how accessible it is and actively shun using it? I like that idea a lot, especially, as you mentioned, the Mandalorians. That tracks. So that's Raiders, that's Aethys, Hammerpoint, Colicoid, Kedamu, the Red Reaper. None of those are the ones I want. Interflight, maybe? See if we can find this dungeon first. Favorite Star Wars game? I'm going to open that one up to the crowd. What's your favorite Star Wars game? Apparently on the main level. Oh, is this it? No, that's Shadow of Revan. That's the expansion. Bang. Well, hang on. So what's this one? It's Taral V? Is that it? Hang on. Scroll down a little bit. Taral V is it. Okay. Then Maelstrom Prism. Okay. I'll wait for Vigilant there.
Scanning group facial features and matching to identifiable records. Please do not move until this process is complete. Identities confirmed. All of you are listed on Republic High Command's approved agents list. Opening holochannel to Republic Fleet Admiral Jedi Master Oteg. Stand by. Channel open.
Hello, my name is Oteg. I serve the Jedi Order and lead the Republic's first expeditionary fleet. I need your help.
I didn't know you could be a Fleet Admiral and a Jedi Master at the same time.
I've had many titles in my lifetime. I prefer being called Oteg. It's shorter. I've received intelligence that the Empire has a secret prison inside the Maelstrom Nebula. It's a dangerous region, impossible to safely navigate. A Jedi prisoner possessing vital information is held captive there. I need your help to navigate the Maelstrom Nebula and free him.
You can give me all the details in person. Give me your coordinates and I'll meet you there.
I'm aboard the 1st Expeditionary Fleet's command ship, the Dreadnought Telos. Transmitting coordinates now, and please keep them to yourself. Oteg out.
Where is this? I guess it's on the... It's gotta be Interfleet. I agree, Krenzler. As I've mentioned before, there's plenty of reasons for there not to just copy-paste every character trait onto every other member of the species. Cough, cough. Huts being into...
Pads are currently open for business.
Humanoid women. Cough, cough. Probably one of the better flight paths in the entire game. Which is why I want to show it off a little bit. Also gets across some of the scale of how big these ships are, which I'll give them credit for doing properly. These ships are kind of big. So, my personal answer to favorite Star Wars game is no question. Almost every Star Wars game out there is good, but with a bunch of asterisks. There's only one Star Wars game I have ever played that I would consider legitimately great, and that is Jedi Fallen Order. Now, there's a couple other games that come to mind immediately, including this one.
Welcome, friends. You're even more impressive in person. Forgive me for not shaking hands, but I forgot my hover seat today. Before we begin, I'll ask that you keep an open mind to what you're about to hear. The source of my information is, unconventional.
I'm not sure I want to hear the rest of this.
Unconventional does not mean unreliable. Let go of your prejudices. I will share with all of you what I have seen. Come, stand together.
I love how we're like 3 smugglers and a consular.
With me. Focus your mind. Feel the force around us. Hear its echoes.
Follow Oteg's lead. This is important.
Yes. The force is with us. She is here. A Jedi without physical form. Her body is long dead, but her wisdom, her essence, lives on.
I encountered a fallen Jedi who did this, and a Sith whose will lived on long after death. He could possess another living being.
Sith who persist beyond death are aberrations.
Hey.
Expressions of greed and pride for a pure Jedi to do this? Something terrible has happened.
The darkness will consume all it touches. Stars will burn black, ashes raining on lifeless worlds. Everything ends. The prisoner holds the darkness at bay, lost inside it for 300 years. His strength will fail. Then he will become the darkness.
Our team will free your friend, no matter what it takes. That's a promise.
The bond weakens, my friend. I'll take things from here. She's told me many things. Revealed the existence of an Imperial prison in the constantly shifting Maelstrom Nebula, and a way to get there. The only way to navigate the Maelstrom is using a Gree computer hidden at an Imperial fortress. We need that computer to free the Jedi prisoner.
What's a Gree, and how are its computers so special?
Gree are an ancient civilization, rarely seen anymore. How the Empire obtained their technology is a mystery. The fortress we're invading is on the planet Taral V. Enemy territory, protected by Imperial warships. Too many to fight. But we have a captured Imperial shuttle that can sneak past the sentries. It's waiting for you in the hangar.
You can fill me in on the rest while we travel. There's no time to waste.
Our fleet will hide at the system's edge, so I can monitor your mission and guide you. If something goes wrong, we'll come running. Go to the shuttle, my friends. May the Force be with you.
By the way, I'm probably the weirdo. When I hear that voice, I don't hear Winnie the Pooh, I hear Lord Walker Cho. It helps that Jim Cummings is actually a pretty good voice actor. I mean, he's prolific as hell, but he's, like I said, he's good regardless of that. Whoops, wrong one. So, Caspian asks, will we be rating this on its own, or is its follow-up to KOTOR 2? And the answer is, of course, yes. External continuity is a category for a reason. Well, that's a terrible planet graphic. Jesus.
Well done. You've successfully infiltrated Taral V. The Imperials think you're just another shuttle bringing supplies. I'm transmitting coordinates to an Imperial security outpost. Take control there and contact me from the Fortress's network. We'll handle the rest.
Jesus, we're level 32 right now. Okay, we got this. We don't have a tank, but that's okay. We have a healer. Giga, it's all on you.
There's no shortage of hungry predators. Unsurprisingly, the Empire's fond of them. There's an Imperial patrol up ahead. Discourage them from warning the outpost.
That is Jim Cummings, yes. If you've been paying any kind of attention... Yeah, I was going to say, Mike's... I don't have CC. I have a slow, which is leg shot. That's it. I got a hamstring. Anyways, Jim Cummings has actually been doing a lot of voice acting in this game, if you've been paying attention. I'm vaguely amused that people are only now being like, oh my god, it's Jim Cummings. We've had to have heard at least 15 different roles of his so far, across just Trooper and Smuggler. Was that the one where they're spinning in the wind and they're stuck there unless you hit them? Yeah. Yeah, we had to use the crap out of that back in the day. It was sheep. It was sheep. It was straight up. So, over in World of Warcraft, there was an ability called Sheep. And what it did was it completely, perfectly CC'd someone for a huge chunk of time, like a minute. And you're probably thinking, damn, that sounds overpowered. There's two limitations. One, it has the... You can only have one thing sheeped at a time. And two, any damage whatsoever breaks it. Now, over time, we've come up with better concepts and better ideas for CC, but honestly, sheep, and yeah, the whirlwind thing, is actually still a pretty good design even to this day. It is just as useful as it is limited, which is what a good CC should be. I was gonna say, I think both sheep and whirlwind healed. Like I said, I'm pretty sure it's literally just sheep. Which further emphasizes the we want to make WoW vanilla in Star Wars thing. But yeah. Looks like Orcano actually would have access to that spell right now. Thank. Uh-oh, we're getting serious now. The music's changed. Honestly, class ability rebalancing makes a lot of sense. If you do it properly, both World of Warcraft and Final Fantasy XIV are good examples of rejiggering what abilities you get at what levels so that the class is better while leveling, not worse. Let's go ahead and put that under, that's actually a tough one, Mr. Red. Let me think about that for a second. Because that is kind of a unique problem. Is that a, that's a, okay. Let's do this. Give me a second to kill these things. While I think about it. Hey, Melikor. Yeah, no kidding, Blade Taval. This looks a lot like Dromancos. But unfortunately, it is not. And you're probably wondering, why do you say unfortunately? If we were on Dromancos, we'd be done with the Republic in its entirety. Which would be awesome. Like, don't mistake me. The Sith side is still going to have bad elements. We already saw that in the Sith Warrior run.
Focus on taking control and accessing their network.
But I really feel like the Sith side is just going to be a breath of fresh air after all this Republic crap. I really do. I look forward to being proven wrong. Let's just go ahead and slot it under core mechanics, Mr. Red. The roulette is very integral to the system as a whole. It definitely is the definition of a core mechanic. And what that really is
Get him, boy!
The game not properly encouraging players to interact properly, which is kind of a unique thing to FF14 and something we probably won't even discuss in most other MMOs. So, let's just slot that into core mechanics and be done with it. Hello.
I've seen Ugnaughts put up a better fight!
Say that. Okay, stunning me is just foul play.
We don't take prisoners here!
Good, because neither do I.
Hit them with all you've got!
I love this party makeup, though, I really do. Wait, really, Psychotic? That's funny.
Well done, my friends. We now have access to the Empire's communications. Do you read me?
I'm here. What do you need?
Our data slicers are quietly shutting down the Empire's security grid. The enemy's in for an unpleasant surprise. The time for subtlety is almost over. Make your way carefully to the fortress, but once you arrive, strike quickly and hard.
How fast will those ships in orbit respond once they hear about what's happening at the fortress?
The sentry ships aren't prepared for a ground invasion. They shouldn't be a factor. I'm sending coordinates to the fortress. The green computer is amazingly compact. You'll have no trouble carrying it out. I'll keep quiet from here on, unless it's an emergency. Oteg out.
So, when I was looking up Mr. Red was something that I'm not sure you're actually at yet. Class fantasy is a phrase I kind of hate, even though I completely agree with it conceptually. But we kind of bake class fantasy as something else. Viscerality. How does it feel? How does it sound? How does it look to play a specific class, gun, job, etc.? You don't have to repeat it, Lataria. At least I don't think you do. Oh, never mind. You do have to repeat it. It didn't put it in the question queue. Literally, after I killed these things, I was going to look over and look at the question queue, because, you know, I never actually finished answering Jay Palmer's question, though. So, my favorite Star Wars game, Jedi Fallen Order. Other follow-ups, I like Rebellion quite a bit, even though it's kind of a bad game, and TIE Fighter, and KOTOR 2, and Tor. Exactly, Caspian. All of those are...
Rain of fire is coming. The scarred man's hatred burns everything.
Are, flawed games? The games I do enjoy. And yeah, I do like playing Tor. Granted, I would be much more sick of it if I was doing all this solo, and I know that. So thank you again for joining me, everyone. But the fact of the matter is that I do enjoy playing this game, even though it's a terrible game. This game might literally get the sushi tag. We'll see. Like, that's kind of the whole point of the sushi tag, you know? Alright, so... unfortunately I haven't, but I have played the PlayStation 1 Phantom Menace game, which is terrible in a like an enjoyable way. Oh man, I don't have a knockback, do I? Oh, I do. No, I do have a knockback. Where is it? Is this it? No, where's my knockback? There it is. There's my knockback. Stop moving. Go away. Ah! I got the angle completely wrong. Oh, whatever. You do get to murder Gungans. That's actually a true thing you can do. In the episode 1. Got him. Okay. I'll give you one thing, Tor. You're one of the only MMOs that lets you knock enemies off of, you know, cliffs. Now... I'm not going to give them credit for that, because most of the time it's just a way to bypass bullcrap mobs, but, you know, it's something. Anyways. So, most hated Star Wars game, though, was the other part of that question. Oh, I totally get copywronged. I have to be really careful about streaming any Star Wars game, because they just like to use the soundtrack, and, yeah. I forget the name of the company. I want to say it's one of Fox's old distribution labels, but they copy wrong the crap out of Star Wars music. It's really frustrating. Anyways.
You have a debt to settle. It will be paid in blood.
Who would accept blood? Oh, you're a vampire. Okay. I never liked the Battlefronts. They had some cool modes, and it was a neat idea, but the campaign side of things was just too weak for me. So I got bored of it. I guess bored of them. Wait. Oh. Yeah, we didn't need to fight that boss anyways. Which is funny. Let's see. So, worst Star Wars game I've ever played. My first thought is that terrible Yoda game that I believe was on the DS. And then there's also... well... Phantom Menace on the PlayStation 1.
Good and evil will both die in flames.
Intruders detected. Initiating.
Probably need to actually kill that one.
Engaging intruders. Primary.
I did Blade to all. Probably all of them. Damn it.
Target appears to be non-sentient.
Target appears to be non-sentient. Hey! Yeah, there's some really esoteric Star Wars games that suck. That's the problem. Most of the really bad Star Wars games are games you've probably never heard of. But no. I'm kind of doing the usual thing where I like to give you some answers before I build you up to the real answer. Let's give you the real answer, shall we? Let me go to the games side of my apps here and look up Star Wars. Let's see, which of these is the worst?
Target appears to be non-sentient.
See, the problem is there are multiple Mobage Star Wars games on the phone. And so I have to decide which one's worst. I have tried them all, by the way. It's a little bit of cliche, but I think I'm going to go ahead and go with the big one, which is Galaxy of Heroes. Which, if you're asking me to describe the type of gameplay, it's a Mobage game. You have to go... You have to grind or spend real money to get shards of a character. Once you get enough shards of a character, you unlock that character and they can join your team. Each character has like a ranking, 1 star, 2 star, 3 star, 4 star, 5 star, rainbow stars. Like, whatever I'm describing, if you've played any Mobage game, you probably are already picturing the type of game this is. Yeah, the gameplay type is predatory. What you do is you do random battles with random other groups of either players, because of course PvP is a thing, to make sure that you have the leaderboard so you're encouraged to spend more money, or you just go through the campaign to get little pittances of marks, which you'll complete in about 2 days if you even try, and there's no story to it whatsoever. Oh, and by the way, it also has a difficulty curve so steep that you will probably have to spend money to get through it, or just spend, 7 months of your life to get through it. Now, that is a little bit cheating, but that is the worst Star Wars game I've ever played. Diablo Immortal might be cheating, but it's still one of the worst games I've ever played, right? It's still... It deserves the bottom slot for a frickin' reason. Now, Umbral Magnus says, what is your opinion on some people have the theory that the Yoda Spears are the light side counterpart to the Sith Pureblood? That's an interesting theory, especially since the Sith Pureblood aren't really Darksiders. The dark side was brought to them by Jedi. So that's an interesting take on that. Nevertheless, I guess I could see it. I don't know. They certainly like to live a long time. Fighter Crafter. Triaxis says, when did you learn of Total Biscuit passing away? When everyone else did. Do you think Yoda was lawful good or lawful neutral? Lawful neutral.
You, on my doorstep. Fortune has always favored me. You've all made quite an impression on the galaxy since our last meeting. Congratulations. Sadly, your victories end here. My fleet is about to bombard your position from orbit.
Have we met before? Yeah, you remember Kilran from the Acellus, right? Long time ago.
Don't be hasty, Chief. We can both walk away from this. Name your price.
The only restitution that will satisfy me is your ashes scattered to the wind. It's been a pleasure catching up, but you won't escape this time.
It's Oteg. Do you read me? I monitored that transmission. My fleet is moving to intercept the bombardment. I'll do my best to keep the Grand Moff busy, but you need to hurry. Find that greedy computer and get out of there.
bit of a ticking clock now. Things have gotten a little bit more real. Hello, Imperial Scientist. Goodbye, Imperial Scientist. Ticking chronometer. I don't know, casual. So, J. Palmer asks, what is better? Tor Vanilla or Vanilla WoW? Vanilla Tor. Oh, congrats, Orcano. You should celebrate by doing Belsavis with me. No, seriously, if you want to go and actually celebrate, I totally get it. I appreciate you a lot, but I don't want to tie you up, you know what I mean? Yeah. Hey, Krenzler. Now, this isn't bragging. I just want to make this clear. I leveled over 12 characters in Vanilla WoW. Yeah. You might wonder why. I leveled a couple in Vanilla, but then BC came out. A lot of my friends came back to the game, and I got really involved in the raiding scene. Some of you may have heard me talk about that several times, how I was actually pushing the envelope raider in both BC and Wrath. So, every now and again, we needed a new such and such, and I was like, alright, well, I'll go make a new such and such. Okay, that was confusing. We need a new healer. Alright, I'll go level a druid. We need a tank. Okay, I'll go level a warrior. Etc, etc. I think that's bad, though. Guess what the first class I pushed to 60 was? For those of you who don't know the answer to that. Yep. Paladin. Worthless Paladin. It's certainly gotten a lot better since then, but in Vanilla, Paladin kinda sucked. Not that good of a tank, not that good of a healer, and not that good of a DPS. You remember how I've talked many times about how the jack-of-all-trades concept is fundamentally flawed in most video games? By the system? Paladin was a good example of that back in Vanilla. They really could do anything, and they could do it so much worse than everyone else that they were worthless. You might think, well then why would everyone use a Paladin? Blessings. That's it. Blessings were the benefit of a Paladin. They were the buff bot. And I know I've said this before, but it really bears repeating for those of you who weren't there for this. When I say buffs, I mean 5-minute buffs on 40 people. It is no exaggeration to say that if you were very efficient in buffing your raid group, you would have about 2 minutes of non-buff time before the first person you cast on, the buff would start to fall off. And you'd have to cycle through the whole group again. And that was just life. That was just the life of a paladin in a raid, was just to cycle blessings. The first add-on I ever got in Vanilla, when I first hit the add-on scene for WoW, was an add-on to help me buff everybody. It wasn't automated, but it was a thing that let me just click their portrait, rather than buff, click, buff, click, buff, click. And that one tiny improvement was such a quality of life change for me. It's hard to even properly explain.
Take them down!
Oh, hello. Now you're probably thinking, well, hang on, lore. Druids were hybrids too, right? Why did people bring them? Because druids could res in combat. So yes, they had the same problem. They were bad healers, bad tanks, and bad DPSs, but they could res in combat. Look, I don't mean to overemphasize, but WoW Vanilla kind of sucked as a video game.
This is my battlefield, scum! You only leave it in a bag! Doesn't matter. Kilran's bringing the walls down.
Correct, although that was patched in mid-vanilla Psychotic, so that went away, I want to say right about when Rack and Tack came out, if I'm remembering correctly. Yeah, shamans were brought because their group would get a freaking totem. And of course, Bloodlust. Go ahead and put it under primary mandatory. Yeah, I'm actually getting loot, which is weird. This is a level 32 dungeon. I'm still getting loot in here.
Republic butchers, you've invaded a sovereign imperial world, slaughtered dozens of innocents to what? Steal our research? This facility is on a mission of peace. We're charting the Maelstrom Nebula for the good of all.
Surrender the technology you're using to navigate the nebula, and you won't be harmed.
Like the other personnel you spared, I'm no fool. When the rest of the galaxy hears of this unprovoked assault, the Republic's evil will finally be exposed. Your names will become synonymous with your government's extermination campaign against us.
Are you done at this point?
Save your accusations. Free technology isn't easy to come by. Where did the Empire find it?
Darth Malgus obtained the computer during an expedition to the Outer Rim. I don't know more than that, and I don't care. You're condemning hundreds of civilian science vessels exploring the Maelstrom Nebula. Electromagnetic radiation alters the safe navigation routes every moment. Without precise and timely coordinates from the Gree computer, thousands of good people, innocent scientists, will be trapped there forever.
The Republic doesn't leave civilians to die. Transmit fresh coordinates to your science vessels and order them home. Then, the computer's ours.
But our research, all that dangerous exploration will have been for nothing without a complete map. Transmitting the coordinates now.
I like how the 3 smugglers chose to spare them, and the 1 Jedi tried to kill them. It's a nice little touch there. Do I think Tor created Star Wars Vanilla WoW?
Repeat, come in. My fleet's taking heavy losses and the fortress defenses are crumbling. There's no more time. Take the computer to the fortress shuttle bay. You can fly out at one of their ships. We'll rendezvous in Republic space. Now, go!
Yeah, Greetech is Greetech. Enough said, really. Where's the... Oh, there it is. Maybe? Get me out of here, Mr. Wizard. The military? Console hut? Kind of? Maybe? I don't know. Even that's kind of debatable. Oh, and we made it. We did it! Oh, we'll pause the music. Back to the preparatory playlist. By the way, hi, Tyron. Oh, I will be right back. Pardon me one moment. I might as well make sure to actually mute myself. There we go. quick question. Does anyone know how many pounds 38 kilos are?
Cut your escape awfully close. Grand Moff Kilran destroyed the fortress just moments after you left. We suffered heavy losses at Taral V. The Dantooine, the Sirocco, more starfighters than I care to count. But there's no time to mourn the dead. We must strike the Empire's prison before the enemy bolsters its defense.
What defenses are protecting the prison? How hard will it be to crack into?
The prison's location is its primary defense. Difficult to attack what you can't find. More than that, we don't know. My technicians have plugged the Gree computer into the Telos' hyperdrive. We're already calculating a safe route to Maelstrom Prison. When we arrive, I need my best people leading the raid. You're the Jedi prisoner's only hope of escaping alive.
Do we have a plan to free the rest of the captives? We're not just leaving them there, are we?
The facility was specifically built for the Jedi prisoner. The good news is you should only have to break open one cell. This mission will cost more lives before it's done, but it's a necessary sacrifice. The Jedi prisoner can end this war, save countless worlds. We'll be jumping to hyperspace soon. Head for the shuttle bays. Be ready to launch on my signal. May the Force be with you.
Yeah, how many stones is 38 kilos? This way? Yes to all of the above, Dr. Winter. Probably, maybe. It's going to be a lengthy conversation and probably a stream, too. Wow. Apparently stones are heavier than I thought. Where's the... Look, even as someone who is in favor of standardization, I'm still going to keep using pounds and miles, and that's just how that is.
Vehicle pads are currently open for business.
Where is the dungeon for this stupid place? Blessed! I don't know how force healing is shown in the AU, but ironically, I actually like the idea of force healing. Especially force mental health healing, but we were talking about that yesterday. Ooh. I've been slowly getting more and more used to meters. I mean, if the United States shifted over, then I would shift over too. I'm not stubborn. Knowing meters is nice, but ultimately kind of futile and useless in an entire country that uses feet. That's the primary complaint there. It's like asking me why I own a car. It's because the alternative is to not be able to do anything. Not because I want a car.
Caught the enemy on a calf break. Prison defenses might as well be made of flimsoplast. Find the security control center. Deactivate the internal safeguards. The computer system will reveal the Jedi prisoner's location. Our fleet will move in and provide any support you need. Good luck.
What's funny is, I do also think that the United States should shift. Oh, we're just walking, aren't we? It's just, one of the biggest things that irritates me is when people assume that it should just be done, and it's like, do you have any idea how much work it would be to convert everything across this entire country over to metric? Like, that's not something you just, and it's done, you know? No, that's going to take absolutely forever to do. And it's going to be expensive, and there will be accidents and problems during the transitionary period. Okay, the lawnmower finally moved on. Jesus. Hi, Tara. Congrats. Well, preemptive congrats. If I know anything about fiction, I know never give preemptive congrats. Alright, so hang on. So... I didn't... okay, super quick question. Retro Justice asks, did you play Star Wars Galaxies post-NGE? To which the answer is no. I played Star Wars Galaxies during the beta and at launch, and I absolutely hated it. So I never went back to it. It's a common story, isn't it? Wow, this MMO sucks. Move on. It's just most MMOs I eventually go back to. So, Taria wants me to think about a view of the Force. I'm trying to understand this. Oh, that's just the AU's method. Which, I don't know, is fine. I'd say I'm completely neutral on it. So I'll read this out loud just because. What do you think of this view of the Force? The light side of the Force is the Force, the true Force. The dark side is a cancer of the Force and a perversion thereof. Therefore, when the dark side rules, the Force is out of balance, and balance is made by destroying the Sith and dark side users who are poisoning the flow. Like I said, that's the AU. Like, straight up. I don't care for that, personally. Just kind of a preference thing, but it's not like I think it's a negative. If you shoved a gun in my face and said, you have to accept this, I'd be like, okay. But it's not the end of the world, and I don't hate it. Like I said, in my own review terms, I'd call that a wash. That is a weird-looking droid. Oh no, that's totally what Lucas said. Like I said, that's very close to the current canon of the Force. If not actually it, depending on who you ask, because of course it varies. Because it's the Force. Hang on, I gotta go kick... No, Giga Pudding, kick it! Kick it! Good job. I will admit, though, I guess I'll open this up. One of the reasons I tend to like the dark side not being evil is because I've been consuming fiction for 35 years. Evil not, you know, the darkness not being evil is actually a lot more rare than you'd think. Especially with it being done properly, which it usually isn't. I could probably list on two hands, no, one hand, all the instances I can think of in fiction where dark is not evil and light is not good, done properly. It's not a big list. So I tend to lean in favor of that purely because of the lack of representation, if that makes any sense. I was going to say Shadowbringers kind of qualifies. Warcraft qualifies. Final Fantasy III very technically qualifies.
Hatred. Master Oteg in flames. Mercy is the Jedi's defense.
Yeah, actually, all the Blizzard stuff tends to qualify. Go figure. I do too, Darth Tyrant. One of the ideas I've posited for years, ever since it was introduced to me by this game, was the idea that too much light side and too much dark side is a bad thing, which I actually rather like the idea of. But that's just because I tend to be anti-extremist in general. As I am very fond of saying, too much error will kill you. Never mind the more obvious stuff. But that being said, we will definitely have a discussion about the Force when we get there. And I'm going to be open about it. You know, it's me. You know me. I am the dictator. I have the final say on what the Force is. But to say that I don't want people's opinions and input, it would be a massive lie, because obviously I do. It is true, Crazy Morris, most unfortunately. Wow, this... I'm just getting lightsabered up here. My goodness. I am very popular. Wow! Oh my god. Okay, there we go. There we go. Thank you, Giga, for keeping me alive through being chopped up by 4 separate lightsabers. That was impressive, honestly. Now, I don't know if you're saying that I'm unimpressed by Caspian or you're unimpressed by Caspian, but either way, yeah, no, I'm not very impressed with this so far. I think we could skip this. Hang on, let's find out. Let's wait. Let's wait. Let's wait. And then... Whoa! Nope, we aggroed it. That's okay. Anyways, I hope Latario actually heard that answer. I'm going to leave the question there just in case he didn't. Let's see here. Of Force Unleashed, have you only played the Wii version? Yes, the one we played on camera. Of the precursor civilizations in Star Wars, which one's the strongest? Other than the Celestials, honestly, probably the Gree. I know the Rakata or the Rakata and all that, but no, it's the Gree. It's the frickin' Gree.
Acquiring targets. Calculating optimal fire pattern. You're just lumps of flesh. I'm much more.
Cyborg? You are a cyborg. Holy crap.
How do you like these upgrades?
You know, I'm not sure. Malachor? Do you have an answer for X's question? No, that's the difficulty thing again, Mr. Red. It's pretty much the same problem we had earlier with the same concept. Wrong button. It's okay, because I'm getting shreked over here.
Acquiring targets. Calculating optimal fire pattern.
Yeah, Gree Tech is just top tier, unless you count Celestial Tech. Celestial Tech is the actual top tier. It's stupid. These people moved planets through hyperspace. I don't know what else to say about that. So the fall... hang on, cutscene.
Your persistence is impressive. Most of my foes have the decency to die quickly. Yes, I arrived before you. Bided my time in the nebula. Oteg spread his forces too thin. It will cost him his life. And yours. Darth Malgus will be most pleased.
What is it with you? It's always kill, kill, kill. Can't we settle this with an insult contest? I'll even let you go first.
I actually look forward to some well-earned silence. Scurry about our prison. After I destroy your fleet, I'll find you.
This is Oteg. We've sliced the enemy's comm frequency. Kilran's got us pinched between his fleet and the prison's autocannons. The Jedi prisoner must be freed, even if it means losing the fleet. As long as we're between you and Kilran, you're protected.
Dude, just get out of here. We're fine.
Your sacrifice won't be in vain. Take those Imperial ships with you.
I'll keep the comm channel open so you know the situation. Goodbye, my friends.
Well, he's dead. Vigilance like, at last I can kill Winnie the Pooh. Dead puppy. Did you call him a puppy? Anyways, so Umbral Magnus says, the way I see it is the Force is different. For example, well, hang on. I have this view on how, in the different Star Wars trilogies, the way they use this Force is different. For example, in the prequels, it's more psionic. In the sequels, it's more superpowers. In the original, it's more spiritual. What way do you think the Force is treated in Tor? I would say this is going to sound like a joke, but I don't mean it as one. I would say that in Tor, the Force is treated like a video game. It's an ability that can do...
Crucis Nova and Firestar, close that gap.
It's a you can do, it's very defined, I guess is the way I want to use it. You can do X, Y, and Z. I can do it under these circumstances, from these people, with this kind of training. If you're just trained in this particular school of the Force, you can do this kind of thing. Yada, 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 yada. And that's not just for the player characters, too. If you pay attention, pretty much every Force user in the game, the NPCs and the enemies, they all fall under, you know, one of the two broad categories. I guess it's more like 4 broad categories of Force users. Exactly, Cashel. I don't mind that, honestly. Maybe it's something I like about the Force in this game. I don't know. You know me, I like my definitions. Can we skip those? We might be able to skip those. Yay, skipping enemies. Gee, I can't imagine why, Zalok, speaking someone who is currently reviewing this game. How many gameplay negatives are we up to? Across everything? It's probably a couple. Put it under New Game Plus, Mr. Red. You know what? Actually, I think I agree with you, Malachor. Obviously, it's not applicable here and now, but that would be applicable by the more modern times. Hang on. I just realized I've been playing preparatory music this whole time. We should do, like, totally invading the prison music. I actually don't know that much about the ancient Sith. So much so that I'm not even sure which group you're talking about, which is probably pathetic on my part, but whatever. What would be the ARR for Tor? Honestly? Smuggler. A hypothetical perfect New Game Plus would be everything Diablo 3 does with more options. So imagine that you can New Game Plus at any time, to any point in the story, and you can decide with toggles what you carry back with you. And there's options to change up the difficulty in ways that doesn't just add more zeros onto the damage and health of the enemies. Now, no game has ever done that to my knowledge, but that would be a hypothetical perfect New Game Plus. In short, it's all about options. More options equal good. How did Kilran get here without a Greek computer?
Your mess is gone. Concentrate firepower on the Emperor's glory. Don't let it through.
He followed the script. Larbird? Larbird. Don't even get me started on Larbird. Sith purebloods were the indigenous who were enslaved by the dark side users who fled from the Jedi at the time, if I'm remembering my timeline correctly. It's actually been a while. I never liked that era of history in general, so I never really dug into it. That is a lot of people. We don't want to fight. No! We got one guy. Nope. 3 guys. What in the hells is that? No, Zalok is gone. Alas, poor Zalok. I knew him very well. Wait. Maybe if I play Mega Man music, Zalok will come back. Yeah, that's the incident I'm referring to, Malachor. So I do remember correctly. Yay! Yeah, the Jedi were, not cool. It's one of the reasons the whole pure Sith blood thing has always amused me a little bit, because the Sith were, like, not horrifically evil until the Jedi showed up.
All fighter wings, break and attack! Fire back!
You'll be missed, Lord Walker Cho. So these dungeons are inoffensive. I'm thinking 1 negative for each so far. Gameplay-wise. You know, normally I'd like to give pluses to things like visual design and brickwork, but honestly, this place is just the same indoor tech facility that pretty much everywhere else is, just a little bit more repurposed. It's not bad, it's just I don't think it deserves a positive on that front. That just brings us to what we think about the story. Which you'll notice I'm talking about question queues while going through this, which honestly probably says most of what I think about the story up to now.
So much for Oteg. With his death, the Republic's little misadventure here comes to an end. I'd hoped to finish you myself, but Lord Vanithrast beat me to your position. There won't be much left after he's finished. Pity, I so enjoy collecting trophies.
That's gross. I am turbo dead. Oh yeah. Kill him before we die. The age-old cry of the DPS. Yeah, 6 lightsabers this time. Oh yeah, we'll talk about the external continuity relevance in a minute. But anyways, that's the hole in my knowledge. I didn't know anything about the ancient Sith prior to the Jedi showing up and, you know, being Jedi at them. As I said, I'm honestly never really liked that era in Star Wars history, so I never dug into it. If I'm being completely blunt, the first time I cared about the Old Republic era was when KOTOR came out. And that was quite a bit after most of that stuff. Oh, I was gonna do that. I did like the concept of the Great Hyperspace War. Oh. I mean, again, we talked about this the other day. Wild vanilla dungeons weren't exactly good either. Guild Wars 2 vanilla dungeons are terrible. FF14 vanilla dungeons are bad. Yeah, even Star Trek Online's first dungeons were pretty crap, now that I'm thinking about it. Oh, tell me about it,
At least
Crazy
your
Norse.
punctuality is commendable. Spared me the waiting. My lord, I promise to rid you of this nuisance. This embarrassing farce ends here.
Securing the Emperor's prisoner is your only priority. Deal with these irritants another time.
There's no time like the present, my lord. I'll accomplish both objectives.
I've heard enough from you windbags. I just wish I could kill both of you.
Glory to the Empire!
Well, time to kill Kilran.
My honor will be satisfied.
That... what the... Okay. That was slightly strange, but whatever. I'll just kind of... Oh, wait, boss music. Quick. Oh, all the time, Bamber. And the worst part is sometimes it's because the game's badly designed, and sometimes it's because of me. And I don't really have a good way to tell which one time it's one of those. And my viewers on YouTube like to tell me all the time that it's always me, so... Why am I literally doing 0 damage to him? There we go. Do you mind? On my rotation now because of all that.
You underestimate my resources.
Question Man is the bot that keeps track of questions so I could answer them properly.
I don't deserve this. There was so much left to conquer.
Well, you're dead, Kilran. Congratulations. Go away. Now, it's time at long last. Notice they haven't said who the prisoner is yet. Plop.
Where? What's happened? I can feel... No. No! What have you done? There's nothing to restrain him now.
We were sent to free you. They told us you can defeat the Empire.
I've been the Emperor's best-kept secret for centuries. How did you find me?
Your strength fails. You must be free, or all is lost.
You should be one with the Force. Finally at peace.
No peace while you suffer. The Emperor drowns you in black waters.
He wants me to be Darth Revan again. Serve him as I did centuries ago.
Oh yeah, sorry, it's Revan.
You look good for your age, Revan. What's your secret?
I led my allies to the galaxy's edge to destroy the Emperor. We didn't understand his true power. I lost everyone, betrayed from within. The Emperor imprisoned me, kept me alive with Sith alchemy, used me.
What use were you to him locked up in here?
I've known both sides of the Force, light and dark. To him, I was a conduit. The Emperor used me as his link to the light side of the Force, the Jedi Order. Through me, he saw visions. But that same link also gave me influence. I convinced the Emperor peace was in his best interest. Tempered his hate.
The peace is lost. The Emperor makes his final war. Stop him. Flee this place while you can. Use the enemy's vessels.
Thank you, old friend. I will finish what we started.
So, yeah. That's Revan. Something that's always vaguely amused me. My Revan was always female, and my Exile was always male. So when I first found out about this, I was just a little thrown. Like, automatically, like, huh? Oh, right, right. But yes, that's Revan and the Exile. Yeah, the Exile is done very dirty here, and I do believe there's some vindictiveness associated with it. I know that's a theory, and it's never been proven, but I do believe in that theory, personally.
So many lost for my freedom. Half the fleet destroyed. Master Oteg killed by a direct hit on this vessel. Devastating casualties. I'm just glad we have powerful allies to replace what's been lost. We'll need all of you to defeat the Sith Empire.
There's room on my ship for you. We'll defeat the Empire together.
It isn't my place to follow a lead. I'll travel my own path, like always. My link to the Emperor is broken, but I learned a lot as his prisoner. Centuries of knowledge. I'll share everything with the Jedi Council. Then, I'll end this blasted war and the Sith Empire forever.
What's your plan for making that happen?
There's one secret the Emperor never pried from me. A place called the Foundry. In the wrong hands, it can exterminate civilizations. In my hands, it will save the galaxy. You should return to the fight for as long as it lasts.
We were never properly introduced in all the excitement. What should I call you?
Revan. It isn't my real name, never was. But it will do. I'm leaving for Tython. I hope we meet again someday. May the Force be with you.
Hang on just a second. So we have to decide how we review the story of that. And it's hard to be fair about that. If I could just be blunt. Because let me just say this as bluntly as I can. I wouldn't have brought Revan into this. At all. Oh, sure. We could have, like, references. People venerating him like we had with the Revanites over in Drummond Cost. That's fine. But actually bringing the main character from KOTOR 1 into Tor was, in my opinion, a mistake from word go. Like, the very concept is something I wouldn't have done. However, as with all things can be made to work.
Give me a wink.
So, you know.
Bring your creds back anytime.
The question becoming, you know, did they make it work? So let's get this out of the way. I'm going to give one negative to external continuity right now for the Exile. I really think they did the Exile dirty here. My opinion. I'm willing to be talked down from this, but it actually grates my teeth a bit what they did with the Exile here. And we can review the Exile now because the Exile's gone. That's it. That was it. Scourge will reference the Exile later during the Jedi Knight story arc, but that's kinda it. I don't even remember if Revan later, because there's more Revan stuff after this, even references the Exile. The Exile is the main character of KOTOR 2, yes. It's hard to even properly explain Blade Travell, because the problem is the Exile was a well-written, very fleshed out, nuanced character that was a brilliant deconstruction and analysis of what a main character was, what a Jedi was, and what horrors can do to a person, especially if that person's a Jedi and a main character. It was a nice little triad of good writing. Brilliant stuff. Here it's a Force Ghost who tells us really vague things in an odd speech pattern, which could be best described as someone trying to do Yoda badly. And then that's it. I'm not asking to have some big, like, oh my god, it's the frickin' Exile moment, but if I can use a bit of a parallel, and I'm not going to give specifics, because I don't want to spoil, Final Fantasy XIV has proven that you can take external things and reference them in your game and do them awesome. I've said this so many times, there's nothing inherently wrong with fan service. But what they did with the Exile here is quite literally fan disservice. You know? Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So I'm hearing most people not only agreeing with me, but saying we should probably actually go ahead and give it 2 negatives. I'm thinking... Yeah, exactly, Latario. Exactly. And like I said, I've always felt that there was a bit of vindictiveness towards KOTOR 2. If you pay attention, KOTOR 2 is barely referenced in Tor. Just barely. Even though KOTOR 2 was massive galactic-level events that really should have echoes and reverberations we're still dealing with. By contrast, KOTOR 1 is referenced constantly. Even little stuff, like Darth Bandon's head in the Smuggler story arc. Now, Malachor is right, and I was thinking about that too. Because we're not reviewing all of Star Wars, we're reviewing how this work, this exact game, deals with these elements and these forces. So, I do agree, I think I'm only going to give 1 negative for it, because if we added other elements to this, that negative would blossom out immediately. But just within the game, they did it dirty, and we're moving on. As for Revan himself, I actually think I'm going to call him a wash right now. I'm just going to... Because I was paying attention to how he was talking and how he was operating, and as he's been portrayed as of this moment in time, having done the Republic quests, he's there. I don't think he's a positive, because it's not fan service done well, like we were just talking about. But I don't think he's a negative either. Now... do we have 4 people to do the Imperial side right now? Or rather, do we have 3 other people? Because if we can, we should probably just go ahead and do that right now. Yes, Evo? I'm gonna put that in quotes. I mean, it's done better. I will say that. Okay, looks like, oh, that's a good question. Hang on, let me check something, because I think I do. I'd go out of my way not to delete characters in MMOs, at least unless I have to, because there's always something you need someone for, right? I've learned this over years of streaming MMOs. Hi, Evo. So I believe, obviously, Nishia has done those quests. We did them last time we streamed. But I don't know if Gilfaberry has. And I'm pretty sure Archie and Gaia hasn't. So let's just go and pop on to Archie here. Oh my god. Okay, hang on. Yeah, we're gonna do the imp side super quick here. Oh my god, my inventory. Let's just equip some upgrades really quick while we're here. I mean, if they're repeatable, I'll just do them on the character that's actually my main. Hang on. Let me beam some... Imagine if we invent something that just heals people somehow, magically. Wouldn't it be great if we could just put that into, like, a donut? I don't know, feel well. Oh, that's much better. Now, where did Nishia go? There she is. Oh, well after Warp Core. Hang on, I'm now being told that it is both repeatable and non-repeatable. We'll find out in a few seconds. And yes, this is my actual main. I need to redo my hotbar at some point. Okay, so it's going to be west, I think? Yep, because it's flipped. Yeah, it would heal everything. Everything. I feel like this was it. Hang on, let me double check something here. Boarding party, yep, that's it. Okay, so I can't get that quest. Yeah, it's boarding party and the Foundry. Oh, absolutely they do, Tara. If nothing else, to polish up and to make sure that things are cohesive with regards to retcons and the like. Let me check something super quick. Let me do this. Switch back to Archie. The Archiangonian. Yeah, Arkengia. I think that's how that's pronounced. Alright, hang on. So, let's import a couple of things. There we go. Just kind of super quick. Just getting a few things set up very quickly. This won't take long. I will have to figure out how to play this class, though. That's gonna suck. This was my... Okay. Well, I guess that makes sense. This was the only mount back then. God, this might actually be a really old character now that I think about it. In fact, what guild am I in? I can do whatever. I'm in a guild called DPS. Which is just me and my friend. Huh. Okay. So, what am I? I'm a power tech. Okay, so do you need me to tank? Let me just ask straight up. Because this is the time to tell me that. Okay, you want me to deeps. Cool. Okay. So then I believe I want Pyro, which was my preferred DPS back in the day. Go ahead and put that under secondary. Okay. Okay. Oh, God. You're gonna have to give me a minute here. So that's that. Where's that not? Death Doom music whilst I'm setting my key bindings. Oh, that's fine. There. That's our taunt, which I don't need for that. That's a grapple, which I don't need for this. It's a reduced threat, which I don't need for this. It's our interrupt, which I don't need for this. Sprint, which I can take off the bar nowadays. There's our vent. We're going to want that here. I'm not sure. Are we full? Looks like we have 4. Give me a second, though. There's our charge. There's the big nuke. There's the buff, which should probably go up there. And then I've got other abilities here. So that's there. That goes over here. We have fuel on. Big dramatic music. I think we have 4. And I actually have a playlist called Epic. Okay, so there's the dot I was looking for. So I vaguely remember how to play this, although I usually played tank. I don't think I've ever streamed this character, now that I think about it. This was one of the ones I did with my friend back in the day. That's already there. Matter. Should that be? Oh, that's right. Okay, so we'll put that here. I don't think Tyrant can. I think Tyrant's at work. Feel free to correct me on this if I'm wrong. Hi, Giga. Love the outfit, by the way. You know me in black and white. Okay, so that's RC. Yep. And that should, I think, be everything. Not wrong, of course. Oh, yeah, there's our filler. Filler should actually be... Oh. Final Fantasy 13, Mr. Red. Okay, that should be everything. I think I vaguely know how to play my class. Very vaguely. Where am I? Yeah, this is Bartandalis' fights. Terrible fights for a terrible character, but I love the song. There they are. Okay. Whoops. Sorry. Screw that up there. Ahem. Meanwhile...
What's the emergency, droid?
This is Darth Malgus of the Expeditionary Fleet. I bring greetings from the Viragi sector. You have made unique contributions to our empire. Now I ask you to lend your might to our army, as the Emperor himself summons us to war.
How can intelligence aid you, my lord?
For 3 centuries, our Emperor has held a Jedi Master prisoner, prolonging his life and his torment. The Jedi Master possessed a secret, the location of the Foundry, an ancient space station of untold power. Both the Jedi and his Foundry concern us today.
Where does fighting the Republic come into play?
The Emperor sought to pry the Foundry's location from the Jedi's mind, but for centuries he resisted. So the Emperor has set him free. Predictably, the Jedi Master fled to his Foundry, and brought the Republic Armada with him. He has led us to our prize, if we have the courage to claim it.
Releasing the Jedi was a risk, but it may yet pay off. How do we reach our enemy?
A fleet of 30 Terminus-class destroyers is gathering. You may meet with Moff Vanir aboard the flagship, where he is coordinating the attack. We will capture the Foundry, and slay this Jedi at last, and all the Empire will roar in triumph.
Yeah, it's some interesting PR spinning, isn't it? Oh yeah, I totally let him go. So what do we got here? We've got a Inquisitor, Agent, and Knight? And I'm a bounty hunter. We actually have a balanced party this time. That's funny. Yep, nope, this way. I'm right. I like how I still have several quests that I'm never doing on this character. So speaking of cool-looking ships, I already showed off the Republic ship, but let's show off a much cooler-looking ship. Because I'm sorry. Imperial ships just look better. That's just how that is. Not that dinky little thing. That sucker up there. Yeah, Revan's pretty stupid here. But we'll talk more about how stupid he is in a minute. Listen, wedge-shaped ships are best-shaped ships, okay? As I've talked about before, there's actually legitimate benefits to having that, but that's not here nor there. Do I not have... Not there, at least. I did, Dr. Winter. So, one of the things you posited was that a potential positive for the general brickwork of Imperial structures, which I actually agree with. I'm debating... I guess we'll just put that under Sith. That's not that. Oh, jeez. Oh, jeez. There we go. Our first Sith positive.
Tell the Red Shrike to hold position until they're patched. They're not doing us any good.
Yes, sir.
And get those engineers a shuttle.
Moff Venner, Darth Malgus sent us.
The Strike Force, yes. It's an honor to have you with us. Let me assure you that my fleet and I are here as your support. You will lead in the Emperor's name, and the people shall follow.
Most men in your position aren't eager to work with me.
I'm proud of earning my position, but a great Moff must be selfless. We live and die for the Sith. Tell Darth Malgus we're ready.
This is Darth Malgus to the Imperial Strike Force. The Emperor's prisoner, the escaped Jedi Master, has unwittingly led us to the Nanthri system. That is the location of the Foundry, an ancient alien space station embedded inside an asteroid.
The full capabilities of the Foundry remain a mystery, but the Jedi Master who discovered it will do anything to protect it. The Republic fleet is already on guard.
What are our options for an approach?
We are en route to intercept a Republic cruiser carrying supplies and reinforcements to the Foundry. We will immobilize the cruiser with a tractor beam. You shall lead the boarding party. Once the cruiser is captured, you can use it to slip past the Republic defenses and infiltrate the Foundry itself.
Now you'll get to see what bounty hunters are all about.
Once you have the cruiser and begin your attack on the Foundry, we will engage the Republic directly.
You must not underestimate the Republic defenses, or the Foundry's Jedi Master. He is the greatest threat, but your will is stronger.
I mean, frankly, I'm amazed any of y'all have...
range of the Republic cruiser. Attempting to lock tractor beams. We have them.
Get to the airlock and take that ship. It's the only way we can reach the Foundry.
I'm a little surprised any of y'all have Republic characters to help me out with this stuff. Grateful, but surprised. Character in Tor I want to see more of.
scanned the cruiser for life signs. There's a full battalion aboard, along with a team of Jedi Knights.
Why
Be
not?
cautious.
Yeah, I would have liked to see more of Darth Maul, too. There's actually several characters. Generally, there are lots of characters I'd like to see more of, especially if they're well written. Like Warp Core says, even General Garza? As I've said before, Garza could have been a really fascinating character if done properly. She wasn't. Console Hot says, do you know of any setting that's equal to or close to power tier to Warhammer 40k? The answer is yes. Ridiculous anime. I'm not going to name any specific examples because it doesn't matter. They're ridiculous. That's the whole point. When you have a gun that can shoot galaxies, yeah. Who's your favorite KOTOR character, and why is it Kreia? Because her voice actress is goddamn sexy. So, my Revan was basically Joan of Arc during the Mandalorian Wars. Yeah. Do I think Revan would be cool with Anakin and the clones? I don't think I don't think they'd be cool with Anakin at all. I think they'd be very cool with the clones. Was Kreia the entity in Sith Warrior? That's an interesting question that we'll honestly address later. The answer right now is asterisk, and we'll just stick with that for the moment. How different would the landscape of Tor be if they took KOTOR 2 into consideration? Massively. So much so that, like, the entire bare bones of the world building should be different if they did that. Which, of course, is probably one of the reasons they didn't. I mean, screw that nonsense. Oh, you're here? Yay. Time for a bloodbath. Oh, wait, I'm not playing that character.
Boarding parties, go! Go!
How short range I am on this guy. It'll burn a lot of stuff, though. A lot of stuff. Oh man, I would totally go for that Evo. Just kind of, Sith Lords just kind of chilling, you know, like, hey, what's up? Listen, if you don't serve me, then I'm gonna, like, kill you, okay? It's nothing personal, but I need you to serve the Empire, alright? Cool. So, anybody want to go out for some tea and crackers? I could really go for some good tea right about now. Like some rose tea, which should be on my doorstep basically right now. That would be awesome. Yeah, meanwhile, Revan has decided Malik was correct by thinking, you know what? I like droids. Droids are just so much more reliable than people are, right? I should probably have a mission playlist going on here. Back to mission, back to mission. Let's do it. Coming down the house. The droids are cool. I'm not joking, Evo. I think that would be neat, but then again,
Captain Yelto. All crew members proceed to your assigned security stations. We have been boarded.
I'm the weirdo who really liked the idea of what I called the urban mage way back in high school. Where, you know, a super powerful mega death mage was just wandering around in jeans and a t-shirt with like a hoodie. And some sneakers. I liked that aesthetic. I, in fact, kind of hope to do something with that someday. Yeah, tea's here. Delicious tea. Let's see. So, so Crazy North asks a good question. Do I think Malgus could have reformed the Empire properly? No. I think that he was going about it completely the wrong way, and was honestly so stupid about his approach. It's like asking me if Admiral Layton was actually going to reform the Federation over DS9. The answer is no. You done goofed, boy. We have no healer. We need no healer! I could also go healing if I had to. I have healed on Bounty Hunter. If you say Wanda, we're not friends anymore, Evo. I just want you to know that. Hey, Mike Romano. I haven't seen you say anything up until this very second, if that's what you're asking. Oh, yeah, I could see that, Evo. That's a good example. This is just a kill squad. I mean, granted, we have what? 2, essentially, tanks, 2 heavies. Whatever the Inquisitor spec there is. And an agent who's just shrekking everything. We're going after Revan right now. I'm sorry, I mean a random Jedi. I have no idea who it is. Oh yeah, I'm here too. I'm probably not contributing that much because I'm still relearning the class. I'm mostly just trying to keep my dots up. Of which I have 4, I think, at this point. You did, Mike Kamano. We just finished them.
We've lost engineering, but their vanguard is headed for the bridge. Regroup and protect the command deck.
I don't know if they'd be in more trouble than they already were, Crazy Horse, but yes. We are playing Pyro, yes. I remember liking Pyro, and I'm already remembering why. Honestly, we'll probably be playing a lot of Pyro when we actually play Bounty Hunter. You like fire, right? I know Bregman does. Not that she's here right now, but if she was, I'd be doing her proud. Well, I hope the computer's actually doing a lot better, Mike Mono. Pyro's just fun. Although it's nice to know that it's actually endgame viable. Generally speaking, in my experience, if there's a class or a spec I like, it's generally not endgame viable, which always kind of irritates me just a little bit. I mean, one of my attacks, I activate my rocket launcher, or my rocket pack, and I punch them with the force of my rocket pack. What more do I need to add to this? That thing right there. Anyways, so Decked asks a very good question, but unfortunately it's going to take a while to really explain it. So Decked asks, how does hyperspace work? So space is in movement, right? Space is in movement? Really, Laura? Space is in motion. So you can, why did it put a D in your name, Ect? It literally says Decked Clue. Bounty Hunter, Trihexia. Whatever. So how does hyperspace work exactly? Yeah, I was just repeating the thing, and I'm like... Anyways. So hyperspace is an alternate dimension where physics don't apply the same way, but certain aspects of things do still apply in both directions. The most obvious one is gravity. So, let me just go ahead and say something. Speaking as someone who spent like a month designing the FTL for my own setting, most settings FTL isn't designed. Hi, Inmo. You know, they just say they can go faster than light, and that's kind of the end of it. They don't think about what that means, or how it can be used as a weapon, or its tactical purposes, or the utility, or the energy requirements, or anything. It's just FTL, go. Star Trek is a big problem with that. Star Wars, by contrast, actually designed a brilliant FTL system, probably one of the best FTL systems I've ever seen. So check this out. You go into hyperspace, move to your destination, and come out of hyperspace at the new destination. That's the basics. It's extraordinarily fast. You can cross the galaxy in about a month. Which, if that doesn't sound fast, then you don't know how freaking huge the galaxy is. Hang on, it actually gets better than that, though. So, the different qualification of drive you have can increase your speed in hyperspace. So different speeds of drives will be able to go substantially faster. And I mean, like, when I say substantially, I mean by a factor of millions faster or slower when in hyperspace, okay? Once you enter hyperspace, you're kind of there. Nothing else is going to be able to interact with you. I know what the AU does, that's not what we're talking about. So once you're in hyperspace, you're just kind of there, right? With one big proviso, and that's gravity. Now the cool thing about this is everything that has gravity generates what's called a mass shadow within hyperspace, right? Now, here's the catch. A mass shadow is relative to the amount of mass that is being generated. So a planet has a huge mass shadow, a star has a gargantuan mass shadow, but like a ship or a space station, not so much. Now, when you're going through hyperspace, the object that's here, you don't actually collide with the object, you go right through it, but the object generates a mass shadow. That's the problem, because those mass shadows have collision in hyperspace.
By the enemy vanguard. Intercept immediately.
Make sense? So, that means you still need to route around things. You need to route around planets, and stars, and nebulae, and black holes, and all sorts of other stuff, right? Give me a second straight. I don't want to lose my train of thought. So, you still need to navigate through hyperspace. That's what the whole calculation for entering hyperspace is there for. Because wherever you are, exactly where you are at any given point in time, has to be designed like, okay, I want to go over there, so I need to figure out how exactly to get there from where I am. This is where hyperspace lanes come in. Now, hyperspace lanes are not like built things. It's not like a highway. It's more like a river. It's to carry the analogy a little bit further. So you can actually go a natural route through space in a way that, you know, has the least resistance or the least problems or whatever. This is why actually having hyperspace routes is so... there's still something alive. Is so important. Now, those routes still need to be calculated down to the individual specifics.
I am Jedi, and I will stop you.
So let me try to explain what I'm saying about there.
You are formidable, but the Force will...
What I'm trying to say there is that this guy needs to shut up as we burn him to death. You know that in order to get to your destination, what you want to do is you want to go roughly over to here, through a hyperspace lane, then up here, rather than going straight to your destination, because that's the safe route, right? So your hyperdrive then calculates exactly how you want to go this way, and then this way, and then this way, okay? Now the key part... Sorry, I'm going to keep talking for a second. I don't want to lose my train of thought here. The key thing here, and this is important, is you could hypothetically just calculate a route to go straight to your actual destination. But not only would that take a substantially larger amount of time, there's a good chance that it's not even feasible. Because you need data on not only where the planets and systems and everything are, but where they are right now. Sense make? So you need the current information, and you need the tons and tons of processing power to properly calculate that, right? Doesn't look like it's my droid. At least I don't see it. So you could hypothetically try to just hyperjump there. It would be incredibly dangerous. And there's a pretty good chance you might run into a mass shadow. Now here's how this works out. Someone mentioned, by the way, if something very dense existed, it would have a huge mass shadow in hyperspace, which is correct. So this then leads us to the other thing. What happens when you interact with a mass shadow? So most hyperdrives are programmed to be able to detect a mass shadow in the micro milliseconds before you actually run into it, and kill switch the hyperdrive, right? Now, that can actually cause some damage to your hyperdrive and some damage to your ship, but the point is, at least you don't run into the mass shadow directly, because if you do, smeared. You're gone. You're pulped, okay? So, they try to pull you out before you actually smear over the mass shadow. Now, this is brilliant for a lot of reasons, because not only does it give people out of hyperspace a way to interact with things in hyperspace, because you can generate a mass shadow. That's what the interdictor does. It doesn't trick your system into pulling out of hyperspace. It creates a real mass shadow, which then pulls you out of hyperspace or prevents you from going into hyperspace. Because hypothetically, you could enter hyperspace with that interdictor there, you'd have to override all the safety settings and all that. But if you did, you instantly die because you instantly smear across that mass shadow the interdictor's projecting. Forgive me for gushing. This is just such a brilliant system overall. They really thought about this. Because what this means is while hyperspace has in tactical capacity, it's really, really minor. Like, you can't just use hyperspace as a regular warp tool because it just doesn't work that way, and it requires so much power. And because it's dimensional hopping, you can't really do that. You can still stop people from entering hyperspace, but you can also be free once you enter hyperspace, but it's hard to get around, and you need the proper routes, and routes can be existing. So all of a sudden, we have all these different variables, which makes FTL a really well-designed, fleshed-out, awesome feature of Star Wars, which is why the AU pissed me off so much when they decided to throw all that out the window. Excuse me. Yeah.
This is Captain Yelto to the Imperial boarding party. I admit, you have us outnumbered and outgunned. You know we're not going to escape.
You're awfully confident for a woman who knows she's beaten.
This vessel is powered by a Type 4 hypermatter annihilator. Right now, I'm disabling the safeties and rigging it to self-destruct. In a few minutes, you, me, my ship, and half your fleet will be reduced to stardust.
There's no need to kill yourself. We can work something out.
I'm afraid we can't. Yelto out.
And Loner is absolutely correct. There's lots of ways you can manipulate with it. So, like, you can control. That's why interdictors were such a big deal, and why it always kind of irritated me that they just ignored that they existed in the movies. And yeah, the mass shadow generator, that's another fun thing. First of all, thank you, Games and Goals, very much. I have put that towards Empire of Sin. Thank you. Muchly appreciate. Wenlock also brings up another thing. So I mentioned how you want your FTL to be something that matters tactically, but FTL is so ludicrously fast, because it has to be, because space is big, that you need some kind of checks and balances to prevent it from being an apocalyptic weapon. To use a very specific example, in, Star Trek, there's actually nothing really stopping you from going to warp and smashing into a planet. And I mean, obviously you're gonna die in the process of doing that, but the amount of damage that would do is something I don't have the ability to calculate. But in Star Wars, you can't do that. This is one of the reasons I think it's so brilliant. I talk about writing as a puzzle. You want your FTL to be, practical, useful, not overpowered, and not something that's just going to completely change the nature of warfare, as well as changing the nature of just mass destruction, right? And hyperspace fits all of that stuff. I love it. Anyways, most of the rules I just mentioned do not exist in the AU. So, yay. Whoops. Wrong character. Do small bodies possess microshadows? Yes. Like I said, anything that has mass generates some degree of a mass shadow. It's just most of those things are going to be so small and insignificant as to not really be, something you're going to notice in hyperspace.
We're reading a spike in power levels. You need to get to the bridge.
Working on it. Correct. The mass shadows also only exist in hyperspace. I'm suddenly getting wrecked. What the hell? Where's my, recovery ability? I gotta be staring right at it. Where is it? Here? There it is. Nope, I'm in combat. I'm just gonna stay back here. Yes, by all means, Evo. Sorry for going off on that rant. It's just, I really love the design of hyperspace. I always adore a good world building. Yeah, exactly, Crazy Norse. In Star Wars, if you go hyperspace into a sun, then you're dead, and that's pretty much the end of that. Actually, it's not quite like that, Warp Core. Because they are generating actual gravity to generate an actual mass shadow, they are actually creating a large gravity field in that specific spot at the time. Warp Drive is neat, it just makes no sense and is effortlessly capable of being turned into a weapon, on both a tactical and a strategic level. Please remember that in Star Trek, canonically, ship computers operate faster than light. They have to, by design. So, it would be really easy for a ship in Star Trek to literally fight, not only at warp speed, which they do, but to be able to pop in and out of warp speed within microseconds of each other. And, I mean, you talk about the Picard maneuver, but the Picard maneuver is like the basics, baby, bare bones level of what you could do with a warp drive tactically. Imagine for a moment setting a series of micro jumps to completely surround the enemy ships within the space of about a second, and each time you pop out of warp, you fire your weapon for the nanoseconds that you're out of warp there. And so the enemy literally is just getting attacked from all directions simultaneously by one ship. There's nothing preventing that from happening in Star Trek. Ugh, don't even get me started with the mushroom drive. What I mean by my Revan being female and my XL being male? So, when you play KOTOR 1, you decide not only the gender, but the general personality of your Revan. And when you play KOTOR 2, you decide the general, gender and general personality of your exile. So, my Revan was female. My exile was male. Sounds big. I'm used to how little range I have here. I'm playing a sniper for the last several days.
All non-essential fleet vessels withdraw. The Republic ship is preparing to self-destruct.
There's a lot of people here who are willing to give their lives for the self-destruct. You notice that? Whoa, that was strange. Wait, you've played KOTOR? I'm joking. I know you've played KOTOR. Which just makes my question even more confusing, because I don't understand your question at this point. The second best FTL system. So my first thought is actually Babylon 5. Babylon 5 similarly is fairly well thought out. It actually is remarkably similar to hyperspace in overall construction. You're in the other dimension. Rules work differently there. You require hyperspace buoys and all sorts of things to be able to figure out where you're going and to navigate it. They have special ships designed to navigate it ahead of people to drop buoys so they can chart new routes through it, etc., etc. What is there not to understand, Evo? Help me out here. Yeah, the warp is ridiculous. The warp is amusing, but I wouldn't call it, you know, one of my favorites. It's just amusing. Horrifyingly amusing. I don't know, Revan. Well,
we're going down. We're taking you with us.
I don't know if I'd say I play the exact same personality, but I've never actually played all the way through KOTOR 1 Dark Side. It's actually a story I've told before. You may have even heard me tell it.
A few seconds more and this whole ship self-destructs.
Yeah, the mission incident.
You'll never win.
The Empire is doomed!
And there's not a lot of nuance to playing your character in KOTOR 1. No offense intended, it's just, there's not, you know? So, generally speaking, I tend to be the same, and I always play light. I'm getting upgrades in here, that's hilarious. And she's always a she. Hi.
Area is secure. Get the tech team. Shut down the self-destruct.
Blast you. All of you, get off my bridge! Is this some great victory to you? Using a fleet to capture one ship?
You were going to a space station, the Foundry. I want to know its secrets.
Nice mask.
You really don't understand us. I'm not telling you anything, and I'm not begging for the lives of my crew. I know about the massacres of the last war.
All boarding parties report success. Should we begin executions?
No. Get on with this.
So long as I'm in charge, we don't murder our captives.
I'll call for a prisoner transport.
Success on all fronts. We'll march the prisoners through Car City and show them the Empire's glory. In turn, they will tell the galaxy. More importantly, the cruiser is ours. Preparing it for the assault on the Foundry and its Jedi Master now.
Then I'm finished here.
We need to make a few repairs and get a crew in place, but we'll be ready shortly. In the meantime, I offer congratulations and suggest you return to the flagship. Darth Malgus wants to speak to his strike force.
Actually, yes, Kay. One of the earliest things that Palpatine hated about the Death Star, and pointed out about it, was how ridiculous it was because it couldn't move. And then they had to talk about the hyperdrive briefly. I'm afraid I can't, Evo. It is impossible. There we go. We'll talk more about Malgus a little bit later. But Malgus is a character I feel had a lot of potential that they did dirty. That's going to be my summary for right now. So let's rewind here a second. So obviously, I have a preference. So my Shepherd is female, my Warden is male, and I have a general idea of the personalities and perspectives that they have. Sounds right? But what you asked is for the concept of a canon character. So let's go ahead and get this out of the way. A lot of people argue about the word, but canon is very, very easy to define. I'm gonna wait. Canon is what whoever currently owns the rights to the property decide counts when it comes to continuity. That's canon. Now, why is this relevant? Well, because if the people who own Star Wars decide that we're in a different instance, well, then that just sucks to be me, doesn't it? Yours is full. Unless I'm just doing this wrong. Here, let me walk out of the thing. What? Let me go to 1. It is not letting me select 1. It's not even telling me you're there. I know you are, because it says it in chat, but if you see I mouse over, it says, group members in Imperial Fleet 1, 0. Anyways, so, they have decided that they wanted to do a story with Revan. They wanted to do a story with the Exile, which means they have to decide what is canon, and therefore now we have a canon Revan and a canon Exile. And that means they have to decide all the choices they made and what their personality is and all that fun stuff, including the gender, with regards thereto. And yeah, I do mean Tor canon in this case, but that is still canon. So.
Moffinier, you said Malgus wanted to talk.
Yes, while we're refitting the Republic cruiser.
You have done well, all of you. Had we such strength in the last war, the Treaty of Coruscant might not have been needed.
We're honored, my lord.
But now, a greater challenge awaits. I have studied the information from the Republic vessel, and I am now certain of the Foundry's nature.
How did you arrive at that?
I know the history of war, and 3 times, space stations matching the Foundry specifications have changed the course of nations. Each of these legendary stations could manufacture technology on a massive scale. One xenoformed planets, another built fleets of ships.
The Star Forges?
The Foundry creates endless armies of droids, commanded by the Foundry's Jedi Master, a man very likely mad after his long imprisonment.
That's not gonna go well.
Moff Veneer, you may proceed.
The Foundry is built into an asteroid surrounded by the Republic fleet. The cruiser we captured should pass their blockade without interference. You will fly the cruiser directly to the Foundry and lead the ground assault, while our ships jump from hyperspace to engage the fleet.
The Foundry will be ours, and you will eliminate the Jedi Master.
Not every day you fight a 300-year-old Jedi.
It is a privilege I envy you.
Of course, Warpcore. For the Empire.
Glory to the Sith and to the Emperor.
Screw the Sith. Death to the Emperor. So, if they made KOTOR 3, do I think they would have been able to carry through decisions? Yes, actually. Frankly, because there aren't that many. So, broad strokes are relatively easy to do. Would Malgus be a decent leader if he became the Emperor? So Malgus is smart evil. But he's still evil. He's still Sith. And everything that means. He, really believes in the Sith ideology, which is problematic. There's a... oh, there it is. Let's just empty all this crap out. Screw it, screw it, screw it, screw it. Screw it, screw it, screw it. It's all gone. It's all gone. Don't care. My fantabulous wealth of 240,000 credits has grown. No, I understand completely, Evo. The problem is, I don't know how to explain to you what I do. Or, rather, have done. Because I've played through Dragon Age Origins several times as well. I can even tell you each specific Warden and their variances and differences. But there's still one Warden I consider to be the Warden at the end of the day. We won't even be playing that Warden when we review Dragon Age Origins during the Dragon Age blog. But again, there is still the Warden.
Helmsman, set course for the Foundry.
Only 5.
Laying in course. Any words to the crew before the assault?
Kill them all. Oh my god.
I'm not an Imperial. I'm not your captain. But I have a job to do, and you're gonna help.
Course set. Engaging hyperdrive.
That's my speech? Wow. My Warden is a human male mage.
Transmitting authorization codes to the Republic fleet. They're allowing us to pass the blockade. Approaching the Foundry. Receiving transmission.
This is landing control to Republic cruiser Doran Sky. You're 6 hours off schedule. Is there a problem?
We had to adjust course to avoid an Imperial patrol. Nothing to be concerned about.
Understood. You have permission to dock. You can wait aboard the ship while we run the final security checks.
Don't mind me.
We're docked. Estimate 2 minutes until our fleet arrives and the battle begins. If I may be so bold, I suggest you take the offensive.
Well, I guess. Yeah, I know, right, Act? I am Darth Death Doom. No, it's a valid question, Evo. Unfortunately, I really don't know how to explain it. I guess... See, I know it's a rather common thing, too. A lot of people I know have, you know, this is my particular shepherd. This is my particular warden. This is my particular hawk. Right? And I am probably dead. Yep, there we go. I accept my death. Just taking a nap. So, I do love eating your souls. Oh yeah, what was the one you asked about, Mr. Red? Other than the Darth Malgus thing, which obviously... The smartest thing Malgus ever did was decide to rebel against the Sith Emperor. Ironic, because he did it wrong and he was never going to succeed, but I still think it's the smartest thing he ever did. Loghain? I don't think I actually have a canon choice with Loghain. I've changed my mind on that several times. That being said, the current canon for that would probably be the one where I mercy kill him. We'll talk about that when we get there, Act. Obviously he did fail, but I think he went about it the wrong way even at the very beginning. Yeah, if Malgus had teamed up with Mar, that would have worked a lot better than him just deciding to go rogue and declare himself the new Emperor. It was not a great idea. Anyways, let's see here. So I answered that question from Dectklug. Tario asks, how would I have addressed Revan's final fate? Well, the first thing I would have done is I would have made KOTOR 3, and I would have had KOTOR 3 be a culmination of your choices of KOTOR 1 and KOTOR 2. Let's see here. So, I already answered that one, I already answered that one, answered that one.
We'll stay behind to defend the step and guard your escape route. Good luck.
Matthew is super not my canon Lone Wanderer. No. Although, maybe he is. I don't know. I mean, I loved the Matthew story arc. I was actually rather proud of that one. I have dinged twice in these level 30 dungeons. I'm level 50. I mean, ironically, my canon courier would also be Matthew. The goal was always to have Matthew head west after the end of Broken Steel or whatever. No, the Crow. I don't think BioWare was capable of making a good KOTOR 3. And I don't just mean that because Jedi Knight. I mean it because exactly what you just said. Alright, can you name a food that you like, Evo?
We're monitoring the fleet battle. The Republic's surrounded the Foundry. We won't be getting reinforcements.
Actually, my canon Oblivion playthrough is a woman. Zanej, specifically. The Diplomat, as I like to call her. Myself, Lutario, obviously. Okay, can you name, like, a specific type of sushi you like, though? If you don't mind. I'm going somewhere with this, I swear. I don't know why I did that. I'm on autopilot. I love Kebab Act. I love kebab so much that I will gladly die for kebab. Ugh. Kebab. Maybe we should bring the droid back so we can have a healer. Okay, pick one food that you like, Evo. I don't care what it is. One dish. One tea. But the dead need kebab. The dead love kebab. Oh, dude, tuna sashimi. Oh, second only to yellowtail for me, personally. Pancakes with condensed milk. Okay. Now, you like that food a lot. You like that food so much that it might be considered a dish that you enjoy more than other dishes. I know I'm speaking very basically, but I swear I'm building up to a point here. Now, you like other dishes. You like other food. If you decide to go to a restaurant, even a restaurant that has that specific dish, then you're not necessarily going to get it. But at the end of the day, when someone says, well, what's your dish? That's something that can pop to mind immediately, because that's something you enjoy tremendously more than most other dishes. Even though you like the variety, that's your dish. Does that help? They're really sweet, Dr. Winter. I mean, condensed milk, right?
Imperial destroyer fire lance has gone critical. The Republic fleet is holding steady.
What's the purple aura thing? I don't recognize that ability. Condensed milk is what you use to make fudge, if that helps explain it, Giga Pudding. It's very sweet and rather thick. You can get it in a can. I cook with it a lot. That's why I know it. I've never had it on pancakes, though. It's the Assassin God Mode button. I need to try that out when we get there. Good lord. Exactly. Exactly, Evo. You like it better. I love Flan. I love Flan so much. It's really hard to get good Flan, though, at least where I live. Not a commonality. Ooh, upgrade. Wait a minute. Are you a Yorkshire pudding, Giga? Because that would explain a lot. Listen, I think everyone knows I love pudding at this point.
Stop. It's time we talked. I am the master of the Foundry, once the Emperor's prisoner, now the man you've come to destroy.
You have my attention.
300 years ago, I found your empire in the stars and stood against the Emperor himself. I was betrayed, defeated.
I paid the price as the Emperor ravaged my mind over centuries. But I gave him nothing. I am proof that the dark side can be resisted.
You say you're a Jedi. You say you fought the Emperor.
In my time, servants of the Sith invaded the Republic. I gave up everything to seek their masters, and I discovered Droman Kaas. I've seen the Emperor's corruption. He and everything he's built must be destroyed, or the galaxy will suffer forever. You don't need to die with him. Surrender, and you can wait out this war as comfortable prisoners.
Talk to me. We can work for peace together.
I've been betrayed one time too many. You leave me no choice but to turn the Foundry against you. These machines are extermination droids. My infinite army. Farewell.
I mean, he probably thinks Scourge betrayed him. Considering. Yeah, it's as simple as that, Evo.
Extermination units converge on intruder. Psycholocutor and observer specialties report to tactical control.
Like... Who the heck is Scourge? We'll get there. We'll get there. That's gonna be Jedi Knight. If you, to go back to my analogy, right? Imagine for a moment, Evo, that you had to do one absolutely last playthrough of Dragon Age Origins. Your final playthrough.
This assault is hardly an adequate test of Foundry defenses. Please provide more organic meat bags to slaughter.
No. Now, you may or may not agree with this concept, but imagining you have that one, no really, final playthrough, and that's it. Wouldn't you want to play your favorite? The one you enjoy the most? Again, carrying it back to that food concept. That's the last time you'll ever have sushi. Ever. Wouldn't you want to have your favorite sushi? And again, you may say no to that. That's valid. That's kind of the mentality that goes into it, at least for me. Admittedly, I really like a lot of the Dragon Age Origins. We've, of course, already shown off Mage during the lore run, and the last time we played it and reviewed it, we did the Dwarf, which means we're probably going to do Human Noble when we do the Dragon Age block. And we will romance Liliana, because I've never done that. I am the king, Gigapudding. Or, I mean, sorry. What I meant to say was, you're awesome. Ironically, my first playthrough ever was a human noble female, but I hated that playthrough so much I deliberately got myself killed. Now, what's funny about that is I never deliberately romanced Alistair, but if you just have high rep with him, he's obviously fond of you, even if you don't actually officially start a romance. So he was rather upset at my death during the funeral scene.
Objection. My master promised you would die horribly at my hands. At this rate, you'll perish well before then.
You know, you say that, HK. I mean, totally not HK. I will say this, already the Empire side is better on the story axis. Try to be shocked. So I'm not sure what I think of Revan. We'll have to come back to that in a minute. When we go kill him in a minute. I don't remember if it's the same actor or not. Still unimpressed on the gameplay angle, though. Listen, if there's something wrong with rocket punching people, I don't want to be right, okay, Cashel? Yeah, Tor gameplay continues to be Tor gameplay. That's just kind of what it is, you know? Hey, Pillars of Snow. Oh my god, look at Pillars of Snow! Why are you trying to kill me, Pillars of Snow? Why? You look really cool, though. Why can't we see more of these battle droids? We should add these to the Star Wars rewrite. The big walkers. Look at these things. That's a battle droid. Jesus. I don't know what you're talking about, Christmas. This is definitely the end of Revan. He'll never come back and get lots of negatives. Wink.
Assessment. You have been exceedingly sporting during our hunt. I am HK-47, the Master's most faithful ally. Once a mere assassin droid, it is now my burden and joy to command the Foundry's mechanical armies.
I didn't think Jedi believed in assassination, or built droids to do their dirty work.
Commentary. I am often pleasantly surprised by my master's moral compass. The extermination droids are my master's crowning achievement. They are equipped with bioscanners capable of detecting Sith genetic material. Any organics with Sith ancestry will be slaughtered. This includes 97.8% of the Imperial population.
Yeah, you caught that, right?
This was never about winning the war. You're talking about genocide.
Emphasis. 97.8% efficient genocide. Commentary. As much as I'm looking forward to butchering our enemies planet by planet, I have missed the personal touch. Your bones will make excellent trophies to commemorate my return to assassination.
Yeah.
Prejudice set to maximum.
Just... yeah.
I hope my master will appreciate my efforts here. Retraction. You're not entirely unskilled after all. Activating assassination protocols level 2.
Yeah, that's why I was standing out here.
Extermination units, converge.
So, while we're doing this fight, probably the first actual boss fight in the entire game, by the way. That's in its own right. Oh, I love power tech. Or rather, I love pyro. I like tanking as a bounty hunter too, though. It's fun. Probably the second favorite tank class overall that I've played.
Extermination units, converge. But
anyways, I wouldn't count Olgo. In fact, I give Olgo a negative, even ignoring the bug. But I'm getting off topic.
Warning, excessive damage sustained.
I don't like anything that they did here, story-wise. Bringing back HK makes a degree of sense. Revan's plan is nonsensical and stupid, and also in complete contradiction of how we saw him essentially just minutes ago, right? Like, remember, this story does follow the order in which we're showing it to you. 2 Republic instances, 2 Imperial instances. 1 through 4, like that. And this is what we're getting out of that. God, that looks hysterical. Oh yeah, I should probably go rest. Sorry. I'm coming. That's my fault. I'm an idiot. I mean... I don't know, Crazy. That still probably would irritate me. There we go. I mean, I said it before and I've said it again. I wouldn't have even kept, Revan in this physically at all. Revan's impact? Sure. Maybe Revan's holocron? I could see that. But Revan? So, this is one of the reasons why I said we'll talk about Revan in a minute. Because this is just, huh? I'd like to say, oh.
Cruisers have been destroyed, but they're not retreating.
How will they retreat? I'd like to say, hey, it's nice to see HK-47 again, and hey, it's nice to see Revan again, but... You know? If you remember, in the last Sith Warrior run, I'm pretty sure we gave this a negative straight up. We didn't have the current system back then, but... I don't think my opinion's changed on that matter. See, what we need is a canon Revan, even. Hang on, I need to look up a character name, because I had a thought of how they could have done this. They didn't, obviously.
They're using the Foundry's weapon system to hold back our fleet. You need to take control.
Okay, you know what they could have done for Revan that I would have liked? Groden Tierce. I'm actually curious how many people recognize that name before I explain who that is. I'm actually a little weirded out that nobody knows that name. Probably because Malachor isn't here. Some of you may or may not have heard me talk about a book series. It's called the Thrawn Duology. It is, in my opinion, the best Star Wars books ever made. They're, of course, done by Timothy Zahn, who is an amazing writer. But the reason I loved those books wasn't just because they were amazing books by an amazing writer, but they were the end of Star Wars. By which I mean, the entirety of the Hand of Thrawn duology was all about wrapping up all the story threads that the EU had been doing up to that point, and did a pretty good job of most of them, in my opinion. It was the return of the king of Star Wars, right?
We've got droids attacking the ship. We can't maintain a comm channel.
One of those threads, well, several of those threads were Thrawn, clones, and the Imperial Remnant. So yes, Major Groden Tierce was the clone. I'm going to hedge this because I don't want to spoil too much, but he was the guy who was part of the Triumvirate who was trying to mimic Thrawn. Now that's not a spoiler, that's literally in the first chapter. It's part of the premise, is that him, the Moth, whose name I can't think of right now, forgive me, and the con artist, whose name I can't think of right now, all three of them basically try to emulate Thrawn and make people think that Thrawn is back. Tierce was the tactical brain. The Moth was the Underworld's connection and the resources. Moff Dizra, I think. Thank you. And the con artist was the one who was in the blue makeup, pretending to be Thrawn. Now, I'm not going to explain more than that because that is getting into spoilers, but I think what they did with Tierce would have been an acceptable direction to take this Revan. Dude, that's a big boy. Let's not fight that guy. Yeah, imposter's the wrong word. Required reading up to Hand of Thrawn? Well, obviously the Thrawn trilogy. Gosh, that's actually a tough question. I would recommend the Black Fleet Crisis, probably the Jedi Academy trilogy, even though I don't think it's that good of a series. It's still, you know, pretty significant for the EU. Definitely read Darksaber, also significant. And I think that's all I would say is required reading. But if you also happen to read the other 2 Thrawn books, which I can't think of the name of right now, those would also help. Someone help me. Does anyone remember the names of the other 2 Thrawn books? One set during the Clone Wars and one set during modern times. Outbound Flight was the Clone Wars one. They're basically a duology, even though they're set like 30 years apart. They are effectively 2 parts of a single story. Survivor's Quest, thank you, that's it. I agree with that, Malachor. Why am I on fire? Oh god!
That HK unit you destroyed, he waited loyally for 300 years. I can rebuild him, but it won't be the same. Can't you see you're on the wrong side? The Emperor is death. For you, for me, for the galaxy.
Listen to yourself. If you use the Foundry to exterminate billions, how are you any better?
I'm doing this to save lives, not for glory. I will mourn for the dead and do what I must. As a young Jedi, I went to war. I accepted violence and darkness, and the Emperor called to me from across the galaxy. He made me a Sith Lord and named me Darth Revan. I killed for him. I turned on the Republic. But I have found redemption.
On Drummond Cos, there was a cult founded in your honor.
So I've heard. Not what I would have wanted, given the things I did. I nearly destroyed the Republic, and that nearly destroyed me. When the Jedi returned me to the light, my memory was shattered. It took me years to track and confront the Emperor again. I tried to end him, and he murdered my companions and locked me away.
Trying to justify destroying a whole culture to yourself, or just hoping to bore me to death?
That's enough! All those years in his prison, I could feel him in my mind, drawing on my connection to the Force. But I was in his mind too, fighting him. Only I've been both Jedi and Sith, and found clarity in the Force. Only I understand him, and his death is my responsibility.
This isn't clarity, and it isn't your responsibility. There's another path.
There was a time, a moment, when my destiny wasn't certain. That moment is gone. I've saved the Republic twice before. I've fought Mandalores and armies of the dark side. You won't stop me.
Narrator. And then we stop him.
The Empire will become dust. I will make it so.
Oh no, they're actually fighting up there.
Power of the Force in balance.
Yeah, it's a good song. I was just thinking I wish I could play for you.
You've never fought anyone like me. I was Sith. I am Jedi.
Just picture Battle of the Heroes from Episode 3 and you kind of got it.
You've never fought anyone like me. I was Sith. I am Jedi.
And in the end, as the darkness takes me, I am nothing. Now I know how you felt, my friend.
Malak quote. It's okay, he dropped loot, so we're okay.
This is station control of the Imperial fleet. The Foundry is ours.
Excellent work, all of you. We lost good men in the fleet battle, but we're mopping up the last of the Republic ships now. I assume the Jedi Master has also been eliminated?
That Jedi Master used to be a Sith called Darth Revan.
Yes. That's a matter we should discuss in person. As soon as we're secure, we'll conference with Darth Malgus aboard the flagship. You have my congratulations and my admiration. Fenir out.
3 levels out of here. That's impressive. There it is. I've been trying to find my old Sith Warrior review because I wanted to have some clarity from past me. See what we decided last time, you know? That's what I thought. So yeah, the question becomes, how many negatives? Because, I mean, obviously at least one.
The battle is won, my lord. The Foundry is ours.
And it shall be a fine weapon, once wielded properly. This is how the Empire will prevail, not only through superior armament, but through superior individuals. Without your team, we could never have struck such a blow, or defeated the heretic Revan.
You could have told me who the Foundry's master really was.
Revan has followers within the Empire, and the secret had to be kept. I apologize if you feel ill-used.
3 centuries ago, Revan was strong in the dark side. A fallen Jedi the Emperor took an interest in. But he rebelled and had to suffer. Now his story is ended.
His mind was damaged, but he wasn't always lost. I could tell that much.
Beware your sympathies.
Our teams are going over the Foundry. It'll take some work, but everything should be salvageable. Even the HK unit if we bother.
It may have useful memories, and it could be upgraded. Regardless, we have a new army, and a victory for the ages. One to prove no would-be Sith or Jedi Master is a match for the Empire.
Celebrations have begun on Drummond Cass, and soon the cheers of the people will become a battle cry as the true war begins.
Glad to know my skills won't become obsolete.
Not for many years to come.
Enjoy the fruits of your success. With your help, the galaxy will become a much different place.
Well, that was the Foundry. Thank you everyone for joining me, for pushing through that nonsense. It did have one actual boss fight. One second. Hang on. Boarding party, that's it. Sorry, I'm thinking. So this is going to sound weird. I think I'm going to call the Foundry, gameplay-wise, a wash. It does have some of the same mistakes most other vanilla dungeons do, but less so. And it has 2 actual boss fights, which are really, really basic, but there's something, right? I think that drags it up to the level of being a neutral, in my opinion. I do think Boarding Party sucks, so I'm giving that one a negative, but that's just a vanilla tour dungeon at that point. Okay. Well, yeah, that's because HK-47 is actually a boss fight. So... One moment. Rather than just jump into Belsavis... No, I think... the problem is I can't see it as being a negative or a positive. That's the whole point. I have no problem giving both a negative and a positive to something. I think this truly is a wash. Who wants to try and hit up the Mandalorian Raiders flashpoint while we have people on? Which is the next dungeon in the series, which we haven't done. We also have Katamimu, and Quat Drive Yards, and Red Reaper, and Directive 7. But the really, really one I'm so looking forward to is the Colicoid War Games. That's gonna be the best. If we don't have people for it, that's fine. We can do it whenever. Just we have to do it at some point, right? See you around, Kretzer. Get some good rest. I'm not trying to push it away, I just feel like the FF14 run taught me that we should squeeze dungeons in basically wherever we can. So if people are on, then we can do them. And if people aren't up for it, then we can't, right? So we can wait. See you around, Tyron. Have a good lunch. And by lunch, I mean shift. If nobody's up for it right now, that's totally cool. Again, that's the whole point. Which means it's time for Belsavis. Where am I? Take me to my ship. Yes, this is Kefka's theme. Shut up. I see no problem with this. I can put Belsavis off as long as I want to.
Efficiency, Master. All the better to serve you.
No, it's per faction gilding, Casual. $4 billion credits. Ah! It's okay, I have a few million. Belsavis. You know what? I'm going to take an early lunch. We're really close to the lunch cutoff point anyways. I could stand to close my eyes for a bit. And I just had a package supposedly delivered, which is supposed to have some rose tea in it. And I could use some rose tea to help me get through Belsavis. Let me get off this stupid station. You got it, Orcano. Have a good one. Let me double check. Hey, look, there's the Colicoid War Games. Yeah, I think I'll just log right here. Yeah. Does it have tags? I'll find out in a minute. But for now, I am gonna do this. I'm gonna chop off, get some lunch, close my eyes for a minute. I'll be back in a bit.